It's Plat episode 93. We're here.
The energy shift that just occurred in the room is astounding.
Holy moly. Was there some Valorant news this week?
Dude, did you do a line? What the
No, my
hell
camera.
happened? What the
My
fuck
camera.
just happened? Also, I mean, dude, Connor's cam is falling.
All
dude,
good.
He's in his
All
fucking
good.
Ferrari seat.
All good.
Dude, I mean, what
All
is
good.
going on? Are you in the same office, or did they downgrade
I am in the same
you?
office. I'm in a different room though. I've been put into a different room. I've gotten an upgrade though. I've gotten a blue Yeti.
Still the same audio issues.
Dude, I mean, did you do something wrong at the office, Connor? Did one of the big Minecraft influencers ask for sparkling water and you brought still, and now you've been downgraded? What happened?
I can't talk about it because the Minecraft influencers are just they're big stars. They're big stars, okay?
Yeah. Your chair reminds me of like the arcades that was at Butlins when I was a young kid. You know what Butlins is?
Butlins.
Anyone know what Butlins is here?
Of course, I too am from Gloucester.
It's like the
land of butt.
No,
I lived in
it's
Djibouti. That's
Butlins. It's like a holiday resort local in England, and it has a reputation for just attracting, just the lowest of the low. And I used to go there every year. Me and my family used to go there every year. And they had a little arcade area. And Connor's sitting. I think Connor stole one of the chairs at the fucking 2004 racing game.
Dude, I'm not allowed to talk about this.
That's like a football.
This is a sponsored chair. This is one of our org sponsors, so I can't shit talk
live.
Right. No. You can't shit talk it, but
we can.
You guys can. But if you do, you'll never get a sponsorship. They were this close to closing $1 million deal for Plat Chat, and you just lost it. You guys just lost it over this one.
Oh, money! This is so sad. Can we get 20 members?
That would be great.
We lost out on our sponsorship.
That could have had $1 million. Now you'll get 20 members. How's that, huh?
That's better.
Okay, let's get into the meat and potatoes of the Valorant episode.
I really
this
hope
week.
that involves a lot of Europe talk. A lot of European Valorant talk.
I contemplated cutting out the entire EMEA section for next week's episode because
I like that. First of all, I like that you have that much power in the company that you just can't. Bren alone is
we made the run a show 15 minutes before we went live, so yeah. I mean, I could have just left it out entirely. We wouldn't have
noticed.
Yeah, no one would have noticed.
Oh no,
we just we're just only talking NA this week. Okay, that's weird. Let's start with the big news. Now, sorry if you covered this last week, or I don't even know if you did cover it last week.
We did.
The franchising news. Okay, so there was like a report being put out by George Geddes where he posted an article basically detailing some of the, just more details about the franchising system that Wyatt are planning. And this was like an NDA meeting that's, listen, I didn't sign anything. I'm free to talk about this. But the key details of this were essentially that
I'm glad you could talk about this meeting that you didn't attend.
Yeah.
I'm really glad
I didn't attend this meeting, but I can talk about it. I didn't sign an NDA, so I can talk about it.
So smart.
8 to 10 teams is the big news, basically, per region. So that is the big piece of news that everyone's kind of up in arms about, and I can understand why, because I think that's more than most people are anticipating. I think most people are anticipating, 12 minimum, I think, roughly for a number to aim at in terms of like a tournament system. But it seems like they're going for a bit more of a, in terms of like exclusive approach.
Just to be clear, this is the Giga region, right? Like this is America's.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
this
it says
is North America, Brazil, everything.
In the Asgil says, North Korea, not North Korea. What the fuck
North
am I
Korea,
saying?
wow.
North America.
Damn, they're really involved.
Dude, I need to go back to bed. I need to go back to bed.
Wow.
Valorant's had some far-reaching influence. Dude, they can't even release Valorant in China, and it's out in North Korea?
I gotta go.
That's crazy.
Oh my
I'm gonna just accidentally say some shit, and I'm out of the scene. Good for good. Okay, North America, Brazil, and LATAM.
Yeah.
8 to 10 teams. Oh my god, this is the beginning of the show.
Yeah.
Yes, and so 8 to 10 teams, kind of minimal. I mean, I'll highlight my big issues with this straight off the rip, which is, if you're gonna go for a smaller approach in terms of the teams you have, a bit more of exclusivity when it comes to being able to restrict the teams that you want in the franchise system, you need to have some way of the tier 2 system, whatever that is. So assuming franchise is tier 1 and the tier 2 is just below it, any other teams that are going to be outside of it need to have ample opportunities to be competing against those tier 1 teams if you're only going to have 8 to 10. Because there needs to be some sort of funnel, and that doesn't have to exist in like a promotion relegation system necessarily. It just needs to exist in some way or form for the best teams in tier 2 to actually compete against those tier 1 teams for spots at the global events, the global tournaments. That's a super important aspect, I think, is you need that flow of talent. And it's one of the big downsides that I think could happen off the back of only having 8 to 10 teams in this, is that you just end up with this bubble at the top where the kind of bottom end of your 8 to 10 teams are really bad or not even really bad, just look like they wouldn't be competitive against the top of tier 2. And it completely throws the whole thing into people are just going to disregard the entire system.
Yeah, it's also, if that ends up being the case, it's the most extreme shift from how they've operated so far, which is being one of the few esports that has a purely open system. Like as open as like the Fortnite cash cups. I mean, you could just sign up if you're a high enough rank. It's as open as it possibly gets, which is why there's 40 NA teams that are sponsored. I mean, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but there are like 30-ish. It might maybe it's not an exaggeration.
It might be 40 teams.
There are a lot of signed teams in NA, and it's because any team could hypothetically actually qualify. So it's just such a departure from what's been established, and this system has been good at the talent, bringing the talent to the top, and orgs that have made mistakes in their roster creation have felt the punishment of the system, I guess. Like teams like T1, whoever that
just haven't been on camera.
Yeah, and then
on broadcast.
You got like Thanos Mug Academy and Virtuoso beating them like 5 times in a row. And those teams aren't signed. But that's how the open system goes, and it's just such a departure from that I would hope that this is just early talk and not going to be the case. And that's not even when you factor in, I mean, how many slots are they going to give to Brazil and LATAM? Because the Brazilian scene is big. LATAM is not that big, but do you really only want to give LATAM one team? And then 3 from Brazil, 2 from Brazil, if it's sort of similar to the Masters formula, and then 5 NA? I mean, that's just, it just doesn't seem ideal because there's just not enough.
Yeah. Also, the stipend, they said in the article too that this, because they said this is the revolutionary part, right? Also, I've noticed too from the lighting in this room, I kind of look like the troll face gif where he's depressed.
Troll despair.
It's got the shadow, troll despair. I kind of look troll despair right now. But
it does look like the troll despair.
I think it looks troll despair currently.
It can, there it is.
Well, the other troll despair there is that this, one of the revolutionary parts of this was the stipend, how they're going to pay the teams to participate, and they were going to be allowed to be more choosy because they're paying them, right?
Yeah.
And then they talk about the stipends in the article. Supposedly, the stipends are going to be in the 6 figures, which is relatively low when you consider some of the operating costs for some of these top tier teams. Obviously, it's still better than having to pay, but also you can make an argument that if you get greater freedom as an organization within a franchise system, if you pay in, so you can have more options in terms of choosing your sponsors, your merch, etc., because you don't really know what the overall control Riot's going to have over the league in terms of what their say is going to be for these teams, in terms of what their sponsor opportunities are, what their merch opportunities, what branded containers they can't touch. If they can't touch things like liquor or marijuana, stuff like that, which are, or gambling, which are pretty big sponsors around ecosystem. Alien Bong. Alien Bong. So
I can't remember.
I just think that's also kind of weird.
I feel
for me
you.
when I look
The
at
power
that
dynamics.
That seems relatively low.
What we're talking about every time we've talked about the franchising is that the power dynamic has shifted in Riot's favor regarding that. There it is.
There it is.
Great emote, by the way.
There it is.
Everybody add it to your Twitch accounts.
Fantastic.
But yeah, that kind of power dynamic where normally with a buy-in franchise system, teams do have quite a lot of just in terms of just strength in terms of being able to strong arm the developer in terms of making changes that are good for the entirety of the rest of the teams that are participating in it. But it kind of shifts a little bit when Riot saying we're going to front all of the cost, but we're just rehashing old points.
I think also just like this is obviously you could tell how much they still want to like maintain the kind of structure that they have right now. This is less teams potentially than we have right now, but if you had more than that, it'd be tough to fit in the schedule that they want, right? I mean, they've mentioned the third party tournaments era, and it's still staying relatively similar to VCT. So that means masters, that means champions. And within the schedule that we have right now, I don't see a possible way with more teams that you could actually run that league system beforehand. I mean, you're getting rid of 2 weeks of qualifiers pretty much, but other than that, like you're still not going to see every team play every team. You still would have to have a group stage system like right now. And I think that'd be something they want to 100% not have because it's kind of weird in a league system.
Yeah, I think the only way I can see this working in terms of not falling into the common pitfall of talent not being able to develop and compete against like the other teams is literally having it so that the tier 2 scene kind of does their qualification period or like their playoffs, quote unquote, ahead of time before the tier 1. And so the winners of that playoff system, like for example, let's say, I don't know, 2 teams that make the finals, then get placed in the playoffs of the tier 1. You know what I mean? They've earned their spot to actually compete in the playoffs, and then they can actually earn their spot to compete for the global position, if that makes sense. But I can't stress enough how important it is that there needs to be ways for talent to move up. And I don't just mean players like a path to pro. I mean actual teams competing against other teams, because otherwise it does give an aura of disingenuity. That's not even a word. I'm just saying shit.
I feel you though. Fam.
But yeah, I like dictionaries. I read one every morning. I think viewers will clock onto it pretty quickly, and they won't enjoy it that much. There was also some. I didn't add this in the runner show because, like I said, we built it 15 minutes before. But there was a leak about the various game modes that they were doing. I mean, it's kind of relevant to franchising because there was a tournament mode that was showcased, like a tab that says tournaments. I think in the Valor Leaks Twitter, it will show it, Kurt. Sorry, I should have added it in ahead of time. But this is another thing when I'm talking about like the talent development, ways for people to compete. Super similar to Fortnite, where it's literally all in the in-game client. And it's so sick for the game, where you can just have, little Timothy and his friends from school just competing. And they gather together, they're playing in the cash cup, you know? It's like having those systems in place for the tournaments, and it seems like they're getting close to coming up with it, including a 1v1 mode as well, which is interesting.
The Gulag, I remember you quote retweeted that.
Gulag,
like, the Gulag is here.
It's finally here.
Finally, they've added the Gulag. But I'm also interested to see, like, even if you have these tournament modes, which are cool for like just having the side, like, what is going to be that path from there? Because even if you allow these teams that aren't partnered to compete in the tier 1 level, like they can earn into the tier 1, like the global circuit, they're still disincentivized in a way because of the fact that I'm assuming they won't get revenue sharing at all from like a lot of the different. I'm assuming if you're a partner team, you will get revenue share of some sort. And if you're a non-partner team, you will not get revenue share, because otherwise what's the point of partnering? And so if you're a team that's looking to compete at the tier 1 level, and you're going to have to spend generally pretty decent amount of money to build a competitive roster, and then you earn yourself into that slot, but you don't have opportunities to earn revenue really from being in the global league, then how do you incentivize teams to build rosters to compete?
Yeah, and I think that's orgs don't earn money from their tournament placings as much. You know, a lot of the times that money will go to the players. But I kind of put us on the new game mode leaks, but it's kind of related to the tournament client stuff. But they did say in the original franchising, whatever you want to call it, like manifesto, I guess. I don't know. Just the original thing was literally showcasing. They had that pyramid graphic, and the tier 3 section was like the in-game tournament system essentially, and it feeds into the tier 2 VRLs or whatever else. Yeah. So I think the idea is that you would qualify for VRLs that way. But you have a very good point just in general, which is where is the incentive for teams outside of it to actually want to compete in Valorant and field teams in Valorant? Where do they get their money back? Yeah. Because you do kind of make it quite top heavy, I think, with a franchising system inherently. So there needs to be ways for it. Anyway, we can move on and talk about actual Valorant. Gameplay. North America.
Gameplay?
No,
Oh, thank God.
Who do you
thank
thinks
Christ.
that North America is the best region in the world?
But definitely me.
Me.
Definitely me.
Me. Well,
Me.
we're going to talk about
Balla,
it.
you don't think North America...
You don't think North America is the best region in the world?
No, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Come on, it's
Did you watch
okay,
EMEA
guys.
this week?
Can we get this guy off the show?
I did.
Can we disconnect this?
Mhm.
Which region do you
I
think
did.
is the best?
After watching this week, come on, man.
Yeah.
Balla, you can't tell me you watch...
I'm already in a fucking corner here, Brad. Like, don't push me any further.
You can't tell me you watch Liquid Guild and you don't think NA is the best region. Come on.
That game was fucking horrid. Holy shit.
These games, they stole my soul, man.
Oh,
They stole my soul.
save your vitriol. Save your vitriol.
Yeah, I'll save it. I'll save it for the EMEA section.
I think we can talk
It's going
about
to be
NA
5
first.
minutes long. The guard take down TSM. This was a bit of a surprise for us. Honestly, we kept saying like almost every single week that the guard looked awful. We were like, oh, are they going to bounce back? Are they going to bounce back? Is this the week? Did they bounce back? Well,
Yeah.
they finally did. They finally swapped around their roles to play, the stuff they were comfortable with instead of trying to force, the chamber and Jonah P playing a lot of the duelist roles for them.
Yeah.
And they managed to take down TSM, which I thought was honestly has massive implications, honestly, for the entirety of that group, because I was counting guard out, and now if they are back in form, Group A, who the fuck knows what's happening with Group A?
Yeah, Group A is pretty wild at the moment.
Yeah.
It feels like it could go in any direction at this point, honestly. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much you can say about the guard other than they switched their roles back. They were essentially playing what they used to play. They haven't really integrated any of the new agents. They just switched back to their old stuff, and immediately all of the fundamentals and kind of the flow of their game that we were seeing before is just back. I mean, Kurt, if you want to pull up the third clip that I had sent you, the C take. I mean, it kind of just you're just watching the old guard again, and I get the idea of what they were trying to do the past 2 weeks. It makes sense, kind of logically, but just in practice, it just didn't actually work with those roles. The players were not in positions to show off how fundamentally strong this team was. And now it's just kind of right back to how it is. The players are back in their comfortable positions, like Net playing the Killjoy and the Sentinel a lot now. Saya player finding entries as it was before. The swings for each other are back. Like, you can see if you want to just replay it really, Kirk, because it's such a fast clip, but it's just like exactly what we were witnessing from the guard previously. Like, you just start with Nets in his comfortable position watching the flank. He was finding picks on the TSM players that like to push deep and flank constantly. He was picking them off over and over. Now that you have Saya on the entry, he's finding these crazy openings for them consistently. They're setting him up well. And then, like, towards the end of this clip, you just see, like, VALORANT is swinging wide. Trent is, like, the follow-up is just there. And, I mean, like, these flicks from Saya are just crazy. But, like, VALORANT swinging wide. Trent is swinging from the other side of the default box. And it's just, like, these easy rounds that you're seeing from the guard again that are just pretty much what we saw from last stage. I think, again, like, I get what they were going for with the swaps in the past 2 weeks, but it was just clear that with those swaps, the fundamentals of the game that were such a highlight for the guard weren't there. I mean, this is a cool little aftershock from Jonah P that denies that TP from GMD would play that TSM love to go for, the like teleport on top of B. I think from here, though, what I'd like to see from the guard is, listen, these roles are just clearly better. You want Saya on your duelist, you want him entering, but I think at this point, I would just like to see them take it more in the direction now of integrating the new agents in, but with these roles. Like, have Trent start picking up the fade, maybe have Saya play Neon on a map or two. Like, integrate the new agents in a creative way, but with these roles, because clearly these are just the roles that the team needs.
Yeah, I think that's worked in the past for them as well. Like, the guard were like, I always pictured the guard, especially in stage 1, they would lose to a team, and sometimes they would just adopt their comp. Like, I remember they did it with Ascent. They started playing the Knights comp, right, with the Sage for a moment. There was a period of time where they were doing that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was. They've always been like that, except that maybe the changes this time around. I mean, obviously, we're a bit one step too far, I guess, because I think it highlighted their reliance on Saya player to just open stuff up for them. There was that stat line, that crazy stat line in stage 1, showcasing like the amount of like I think it was the round or map. It was the map win percentage when your primary duelist is under a certain amount of ACS. So basically, the stat was just showcasing how much do they win when their primary duelist is like popping off, and how much do they lose when they're not. And like the guard were like one of the huge other side of the tail end where they're like, side player needs to be having a good game, essentially. And yeah, it really did showcase when they made the switch to chamber, because a lot of teams had already made that adjustment way ahead of time. You remember like Cloud9 were pretty uncomfortable for a short while, I think, when they were running the chamber initially. Yep. Optic as well with Ye. Like it takes a while to get used to kind of the play style of it. You can't just be unlocked on it initially, like straight away off the rip. Yeah.
Yeah, Sai was nuts too. Just this entire series. It's going to be interesting. I mean, sure, all the roles and agents and stuff that you guys are talking about is really important, but for him to be able to carry again is super, super important. I still think, though, that both Valen and Trent are in this position where they're not as confident as they were previously. And when I was watching this game, yeah, I saw flashes. Not flashes. I did agree with Wyatt's take that this is the old guard. But I also think that TSM just didn't play as good as they did against 100 Thieves. Like Corey was missing the entire time. And that might be because the guard was shutting him down, but I don't really feel like that's the case. I felt like he was so disjointed and away from his team and like constantly just sitting like in certain places. Like, and also like on Icebox, there's so many moments where I'm just like, this guy knows something. He knows how this play is supposed to work. He knows what the opposing team is doing, but he's not telling his teammates, and they're dying to it because of it. Like so many times his teammates were pushing, and Corey's like, no, I'm just not going to push. I'm not going to be with you guys. He's just back sight while they're sending like utility at the guys who are pushing the ore. It's just like moments like that I'm very confused about, and I think was a big factor in why TSM wasn't actually good in the series.
Yeah, I mean, also I feel like on top of that, you talk about the confidence of Valen and Trent. It's still like an interesting point of where, like, obviously this comp and moving them off the chamber. And putting net back onto like traditional Sentinel roles has been really good for them. But how does this continually stylistically work for them when so many teams are like exclusively running chamber and kind of off a lot of the times those like more hard duelist or hard Sentinel roles? And like, is it going to work meta wise like deep into the future for them? Can they continue to make it work? But I think this overall move, like, why, dude, my camera's falling again. No. Dude, this is so sad. They don't want me to talk about it. Well, overall, good stuff, guard. Just get off me now. Get off. Just move the
I
camera
love that
forward.
Blue Yeti. Classic. Great mic. Great.
Yeah,
It doesn't want to stay.
great.
good mic.
It doesn't want to stay, man.
What are you using as your webcam holder? Did you like fashion
using
out of cardboard?
No, there's like it's like the C920 or whatever. You know?
There's no way you're using the default C920 like attachment.
Christ.
Really?
I am. You want to see it?
Can you turn the camera around and show us?
I mean, there's no way. I mean, like, I don't like. There's just no way. There's just no way. It's part of the camera.
I wanted to see him try, dude.
There's no way to do
We
that.
do a little bit of trolling. we do.
I think it will stay there.
A little minor amount of trollage.
I wanted to see him try.
But yeah, overall,
Dude, the
guard
chair
looking
looks
good.
sick,
Like the
though.
swaps.
Dude, look at
Yeah.
that. Candy
Doesn't it look sick?
red. Love that.
Yeah. You could have had $1 million from the company that made this, but you shit talked it out.
What do you mean? I'm complimenting it.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
too late now. You can't come back. You can't come crawling
We'll
back
put
now.
your chairs on our show.
same color as my charger.
What are they called? Respawn?
Too late. They're called Respawn.
I
Yeah.
think they make Call of Duty games as well or something. I don't know. Don't they?
I don't think so. I'm not
Apex
sure of
Legends
that.
is the one that you're thinking of.
You're thinking of Apex
Oh,
Legends.
Apex.
Dude, we're just doing
all-
free
dude, all-
advertising for them
all
now.
shooting
by the way.
games
We're
are the
trying to get
same.
him back.
Yeah.
We're trying to
It's
we're
too
trying
late.
to win him back now.
We've
We're
already
giving him a
lost him.
free
Dude, look at these chairs.
the 800.
Sponsor us.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm not seeing the one you have, Connor. Where's the one you have?
This one's a limited release.
Oh. Well, I don't want
Yeah.
to buy any of these
Oh,
shares
God.
now.
Yeah, it was actually forged from the metal of a fallen star. So it's quite exclusive.
It's actually crazy. That you're sitting on a fallen star.
Yeah. It was, if it had been just a little bit bigger, this would have wiped out the human race. But now it's a chair. Go.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay. All right. Moving on away from the guard.
Yeah.
Interesting Interesting all around. Another game that did happen that was, I mean, I guess it's an upset, was EG, setting up for their playoffs with the win over LG. Most people expecting LG to win in this one, but now it's kind of thrown everything for a loop because I think, EG and LG are 2-1 in their groups now? I mean, this is the only team that looks like incredibly comfortable and in their slot and is probably not going to be moving out seems to be Optic at the moment because everything else is, and then Sentinels are just done. But we'll talk about that later. They
look comfortable too. Yeah,
they look comfortable sitting at the bottom, baby.
They're very comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah. Connor, you had some stuff to talk about, right? Start spin.
Well, technically Josh put a bunch of the rounds, so I was like, that's good enough because I got to do a bunch of other stuff. So
just put down the round numbers.
Josh put down the rounds.
Did you supply clips?
No, I didn't know so I didn't see this section. I forgot Josh wasn't on the episode until after I started doing everything else. And by the point I was already committed to everything else, I didn't get the clips. So we technically don't have the clips, but Josh did put all the rounds.
Did we all simultaneously have a carbide monoxide leak in our homes? Just
but
one.
I did watch this, but this game was good. This
is
a very good game. It was. We can talk about the game generically without the B-roll.
Nobody wants to work hard anymore. Nobody wants to work hard.
Let's just do a watch party of this game. Kurt, pull up map 1 from the beginning.
Pull it up.
We'll watch the whole thing.
Pull it up.
We'll watch the whole thing.
I want to see Gamemo fucking pop the fuck off repeatedly.
Yeah,
that guy's an actual beast, a freak of beast.
Yeah, he did go.
I'm a big fan.
Freak of beast mode in this game. Actually.
He did. I mean, overall, like their changes have been pretty crazy strong. Like I think their usage of the fade with calm on fade as well was like high. It was like insanely good.
Yeah.
Esports Doug rolling in his not grave. He's not dead yet. He's still alive. So just rolling while he's currently alive.
Rolling in his bed.
just rolling in his bed.
Every time a haunt tags someone, he just starts rolling.
He's just pissed. I mean, Josh too. But I really liked EG's look here. They looked really confident. They had like great ideas. In particular, like I'm sure one of the rounds that Josh put on there of like they had like some really cool ideas with like the dart clearing with the icebox near icebox B, where they would stack up, wait for the dart to try to be cleared, then double peek and get kills. But we don't have that clip ready. So, but overall,
Dude, this show is taking a fucking nosedive. Oh my god!
Why are we talking about this?
I mean, this is my fault, by the way. I made a note saying that Avast had clips for this in the run of show for Bren to like throw to Avast, but that was after I misread Avast post saying, "Okay, Josh got the LGE clip."
Well, the thing is also, how does Josh know the rounds but not have the clips? He just has the rounds memorized.
He put
how does he do that?
He's notebook and write shit down.
He wrote it down while he was watching.
Dude, that's crazy. Josh, just put the clips next time, okay?
Oh my god. I mean, listen, we weren't watching perfect Valorant. Was this one of the clips? We weren't watching perfect Valorant.
It was an impactful round. Big shock darts to win the bonus, and then things just kind of got out of hand. Yeah, let's see. What else did Josh cook on this?
Just hit round 5. That's the only round you need to watch.
Okay.
That's the only
round 5 of Icebox?
Mm-hmm.
This one's called Insane Round EG.
All right, let's
trust Josh.
Insane round, huh?
Is this the dark play?
Okay. Droning B main. Holy fuck.
Let Wyatt narrate.
Okay.
This is where they go for a little DRX type beat, the dash up draft, plant up top. You don't see that one often. Oh no, he's drenched in sauce. B-Dog doesn't know where to go. He doesn't know where to go. And now they're set up with the mid. They got some nerd lineup. Look at those two nerdges in mid, ready with the lineups. This is the problem with Valorant. This would never happen in Counter-Strike. This would actually never happen. Unbelievable.
True. What the hell?
Yeah, and then he's got the
This was such a fucking
lineup.
cool round.
I
don't know what happened to EG,
then,
but they switched up.
Calm just saves the day with, well, you're going to see what happens next.
I mean, he has the lineup on.
I don't want to spoil it.
No.
What? Good.
That's crazy.
That is actually crazy.
Dude, and I saw, if you guys will believe it, they actually didn't even plan the lineup spam. Someone was just like, hey, just go spam it. They
way.
called it in the moment.
How'd you know that?
Damn.
I saw it on Twitter.
Oh,
I saw it browsing the internet.
that's cool. That's really cool.
But they did what those cheeky round wins early on in that game just carried them on to an easy win. And then Bind was just a fucking blowout. I mean, they just couldn't miss. They just simply could not miss. Every bullet hit ahead. It was just.
Dude, Jogamo actually was.
Is this the Jogamo ace round?
Are we just pronouncing his name differently every time?
Yeah, Jogamo.
Oh, it's George. I thought it was Jogamo.
The G.
Jogamo.
Jogamo.
No,
Jogamo.
Jogamo.
This is a fucking disaster.
No, dude, this is.
Dude, wait until the next topic.
We'll cut this out.
Oh yeah, watch
We'll
the
make
ace
this
first.
smoother in post production. We'll make it a lot smoother.
We'll clean it up.
Iron out the
post.
kinks.
Yeah, we'll clean up in post, guys.
I mean, good try with the judge from APOD. I mean, unless he can't get him every time. And then I forget what happens in this round. He flanks long with the double satchel. That's what happens. Yeah. He goes for this fast long flank, and they are just not expecting it whatsoever.
This was cool as fuck, honestly.
Finds the fast pick, but then again, like the swing from elbow is really nice. He finds the timing off that to get out of the smoke. The backside nade, and then at this point, you just know it's like, dude,
he's got 6 bullets.
You know he's getting it. Six bullets holding the angle. You know he's getting this. I mean, that wasn't even 6. He had 14.
12.
No, now he's
12
at 6. Now he's at 6.
Oh, now he has 4. And then
look at that.
Yeah, I mean, that's so clean.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Great play by play.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of summarizes that map, honestly.
Yeah, you never expect the double satchel to fast rotate to be long.
Tom's fate was nutty on this map, but just in general, everything from EG was nutty.
I think it's good signs from EG. Like, they've always shown the signs of life, but also the win over LG, I think, puts them in that next, bumps them up, you know, when typically we've been thinking about them to be on the lower end. And
I mean, it was
the other side of it too, we forget LG was playing fucking Reyna on Icebox. Reyna completely ditching the chamber, even though they were playing it last week.
So well for Ascend, they just had to. They just had to take it.
I really liked CNED playing Reyna.
Yeah,
when I watched that game.
Reyna's not on top of the world this week. Reyna 0 for 2 in the VCT this week, sadly. This is just so sad.
Can we move on to the clout section of the show? Let's do it.
We're going to talk about this for like 2 minutes, actually. Now,
no,
we're not. EMEA troll.
No, we're not. I've already put up about approximately 50 clips from this match.
There's no way you put up 50 clips of this one.
No, I didn't. I didn't.
There's only one clip for this game that's relevant, and I shouldn't even be mentioning this because, like, dude, I didn't go fucking find it. I didn't go find it.
Yeah.
I don't think any. I mean,
it's probably round 1 of map 2.
We're actually
probably round 1 of map 2 is what you're thinking of, I imagine. What? Is that not it?
First of all, what are we even going to talk about with this topic? Sentinels had to play with 2 subs. It's very unfortunate.
Pour one out for Sentinels.
We're just pouring,
literally.
We
get the drinks flowing early.
Is so sad.
Get your White Claws out and pour them out into the sand.
It is mad sad, honestly. But also, I mean, I'm really unfortunate circumstances because Tens has got COVID. He posted after the match that he has COVID. And you know, obviously Sick had the family emergency as well, so having to play with 2 subs. I mean, if there was, I mean, could there have been? Well, actually, I was about to say, could there have been a worse time for this to happen? But Josh framed it as this was probably the best time for it to happen when they played against Optic, because in reality, with their core roster, they had a very low chance of winning it anyway.
Yeah. Now we can cope. Is that what you're saying? Now we can cope.
Yeah,
there's cope available.
Pretty much. But there's unbelievable levels of copium, because I think there was a post by somebody detailing the playoff outcomes and what teams needed to do to qualify. And Sentinels, there is a world in which Sentinels, I think, can still qualify if they win out their next 2 matches. There's a world where they can do it.
I mean, this is just the round, Wyatt. This is it. Watch. Just watch what occurs here.
Oh, God. This
is the round.
Oh, this round.
One. This is the round.
This was a good round, yeah.
I think this is the one that summarizes this entire series.
The thing is, I agree with you, Bren. As we watch this clip, there is a world. There is a world where they qualify. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you what that world is.
Oh, no. I know what this is going to be.
I'm going to fucking... Dude, nobody wants to hear the truth, but I'm going to tell it to them. That's how I'm going to preface this. The world in which they qualify is one in which they keep Raucus in the starting roster. That's how they qualify. They need Raucus in the server. Raucus was the catalyst for the greatest moments of Sentinels gameplay in 2022, not as a coach, as a player.
That is such a problem.
It's not a
That is such a problem.
He wants to come back to pro play. I mean, he wanted to do that. It was only temporary.
Raucous in the server, he looked, dude, he had the fucking tenacity. He had the fire in his heart. I could tell that he wanted it more than everyone else.
Yeah.
I could,
dude. Well, I mean, that's the most like motivational speaker.
I wish I would have found the clip for the. I
know
would
you mean.
have
It's
found
the fucking sheriff play in Fracture.
No, it's not the sheriff play in Fracture. No, it's the one. Is this the sheriff play on Fracture?
Dude, who knows?
No, this is them getting rolled by not clearing.
Turn this off.
No, watch it. Watch it. View it.
Don't show this one.
View the clip.
This one.
View the clip. Look at the tenacity. Look at the fire in their heart here to win this round.
We're ironing out the. This is when the team. We're still ironing out the kinks. First map together.
I
first
see.
map
Yeah,
with Danny. We're ironing out the kinks. Dude,
Sure.
the moment on Bind where they like flash long and raucous Hunter Furies and they like boom all of Optic and long. That was the greatest moment of Sentinels. Cool, yeah. That was the greatest moment of Sentinels gameplay in 2022, and Raucous was the catalyst. Keep them in the starting roster, and they will qualify. That is my final.
You just come up with you are a funny man.
Yeah,
dude, I'm joking, but also I'm not.
No, they do have to beat FaZe and Cloud9. They do have to beat FaZe and Cloud9. That's the problem,
right? That is certainly an issue. Listen, Cloud9, they weren't looking great against FaZe. Listen, everybody hold up.
Exactly.
Everybody hold up.
Now, we don't know any of the details in terms of the point systems. We don't know. I mean, there's a world in which they still make playoffs, and also it's the same world in which the I don't know. There's a meteorite that strikes, I think, like sometime next week.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same world in which they.
Meteorite.
Yeah.
I saw something
about
I saw something about a skyscraper-sized asteroid
coming
towards Earth.
What?
Yeah.
Recently?
I think so. I mean, hopefully it doesn't happen before Champions. I want to see Loud win. So hopefully it takes a while.
What are you talking about?
I mean, a skyscraper.
I
don't think a skyscraper would do that much damage.
Yeah, dude. Well, I don't know.
Is it a skyscraper before it enters the atmosphere or after? Like, are they projecting it's going to be skyscraper size after it enters
dude,
the
I'm not
atmosphere?
a fucking scientist. I don't know.
Okay, I'm researching.
Go ask, I don't know, Neil deGrasse Tyson or whatever.
Connor, you're at a computer. Why are you using your phone?
Because I'm on my laptop, I have to do you see? I have to put my hands like this to type. Okay,
that looks cool.
I like
you
that.
look important.
I look like keyboard cat, and so I'm not.
He's a good guy.
No, it says what you read, Wyatt, was exactly 7 years from today, on April 12th of 2022, a massive asteroid will get closer to Earth. So in 2029, an asteroid will get close to us.
Well, as long as it wasn't the one that killed the dinosaurs. That was like the size of Texas, right?
Yeah.
I think it was.
It'll be fine.
I think we'll be all right. The sky's
as long as it doesn't head towards California and the Riot Studios. We'll be as long as that asteroid doesn't head towards the Valorant headquarters, we'll be fine.
I mean, how many skyscrapers are in could fill a Texas? And what's the Texas to skyscraper
Texas
comparison?
is massive. We're moving on.
I know.
What is he live right now?
What is this?
No, this is
No, he's just
people talking in a shirt, in a fine shirt. Dude,
he's a fucking waiter in Italian.
Actual Lex Luthor on a Zoom call type vibes.
I mean,
just spit out.
Oh my god!
Okay.
Me after watching the Rick's VODs. Jesus Christ!
Fuck, man. God. All right. Next topic. Next topic.
Well, no, actually, I enjoyed that.
This is 100 Thieves with their win over XSET. This is an unexpected one, I think, honestly, after back of 100 Thieves. A lot of people anticipating, obviously, that XSET would be the top team in their group, but they bounce back and they get a massive win, honestly, in a pretty, I'm not going to say one-sided fashion, but honestly, it felt like I mean, at times it felt one-sided.
It was pretty one-sided.
Yeah, it was pretty one-sided, right? Balla, you would have wanted to gather the clips for this one.
Yeah, I did. Breeze was basically 100 Thieves. I feel like they came out with a lot more depth than they did last week. And also, I was really harsh on them last week. But yeah, I think I was not that far off. I think it's it's easy to be reactionary about 100 Thieves because it's the only fucking thing you can do. So I'm going to do that again. And I'm going to say they look like they really, really had a lot of depth. They had a good game plan this time. It looked like they were really prepared compared to the last time against TSM that they did not look like that. So for them to switch things up and, you know, do things like Will pushing mid a lot with a lot of support where XSET couldn't find any way to counter it, having a lot of good executes on bind, controlling the pushes on the extremity from XSET. I mean, every single time it felt like they were in control the entire game. So big win.
Yeah, I gleaned from this kind of the old, I don't know, every single week it seemed like 100 Thieves were making resounding improvements, and then that loss that they had was like, oh, that set it back a little bit in my head in terms of where I thought that they could get to. Like I was like, is this going to be a ceiling that they just can't get past? But their win over XSET reaffirmed in my mind that it was just a little blip, I think, in terms of the grand scheme of things. Because they still look good. I mean, the fundies are there. They're good. They have great ideas in terms of what they want to do when it comes to like execs and planning ahead of rounds and what ultimates the enemy team has and planning around that. I thought that I thought it was a great showing. I mean, Will went crazy as well on Breeze, and it was a rare. Honestly, a rare mega underperformance by Cryo, right? Because how many kills did he drop in the entire map?
He went 4 and 16.
Yeah, I mean, just a really atrocious performance overall.
Yeah, I don't want to harp on it too much, but I definitely am hoping to see more from Cryo because I think he's not been. I mean, he hasn't need to have been wokage so far this stage. I mean, it's just been. Like BCJ and Def even and like in second, like they're getting so many of the frags that it hasn't really been a problem in the previous two games. But I am hoping for more because it's definitely.
I mean, his bind was good though.
But I also think in this matchup, I prefer this map pool in this game than the one against TSM. I think that was an issue there. Like against TSM, they were playing on split, where yes, they've been good, but I feel like they came into it with a very similar approach and. TSM understood what they were going up against. So there's a lot of footage on that game. And then Haven is just way at the bottom of their pool, and they haven't done a lot of work on it, and it was pretty clear, and that's a good map for TSM. So I think that pool was also just not good against that opponent, whereas playing Breeze and Bind seems like a much better one. Their Breeze has been consistently solid with the Will and Asuna, like a duo entry force has been really strong on the attack side. And I think that Will's, some of his best moments have really come from him when he still is able to play the Jett as well. So I think that has a pretty significant impact, and I think that this was a good map for them. And then on Bind, they've clearly put in some work, and I think that these two maps were this is just a better pool for them to get a win as well.
I also think that they were less reliant on mid-rounding on these two maps than they have ever been. Like, for example, this round, it feels like the entire time they have the idea to push Will up mid, have mid control, and then hit B and have him come in on the backside of that wall. Like, that feels like the entire time. Whereas in the previous series, and not necessarily every single time in non-TSM game, but in TSM game, it felt every single time it was relying on Stellar making a call for them to dry walk something without really a plan early on to have that setup work, you know?
Yeah.
Also, XSET goes back to looking very boring for me, by the way. Aside from this team continues to be the most boring team in North America. I'm just going to say that.
Dude, don't say that about XSET.
No. I'm sorry. LG's less boring than them to me. So.
LG's less boring than XSET?
Yeah, I made this comment like 3 episodes ago at this point, but yeah.
I know. But I'm not even going to press you on this, man.
Nobody cares what you say.
Yeah, in your goddamn Ferrari racing chair. Go talk about fucking asteroids or some shit.
Dude, ever since this guy got his fucking candy apple racing chair.
He thinks he's better than us with your spoilers on the back.
You wish you had a space metal chair forged in the fires of the atmosphere, but you don't. So.
Anything else on 100 Thieves?
I did have something to say about it, yeah.
Okay.
Just a small comment that I think there was a lot of people still doubting, even up until this week, the kind of Asuna roles. But I think smart initiator players that can pop off and click heads are a bit of a dime a dozen. It's like such a rarity, I feel like, that you're starting to see it come to fruition a little bit now, where they've, I mean, just him playing primarily just the initiator, and it's so good for him because it's supporting Will incredibly well with really key utility, but also he's able to make solo plays for himself, and I don't know, you really do see the amount of firepower that provides, I think, because it's a bit of an underrated aspect of some comps. Like, a lot of people put all the focus on the primary duelist, but yeah, I think you're starting to see it really pay off, you know. That was it.
By the way, a dime a dozen means it's very common.
Well, it's American currency. I don't really know how it works. And also, I've never actually seen coins in America since I've been here.
Yeah, we don't use them too much.
The only time I've seen a coin was when I went on a road trip and a man gave me a pocket full of quarters to do the laundry at a local campsite. And I didn't realize it needed like the archaic metal coins. I only had the plastic kind of money. So, yeah.
You went to a campsite and expected there to take credit cards.
I mean,
we live in the 20th century, the 21st century. I mean, I just assumed that they were in a modern era.
Technology, like
no, they only took quarters, and I was like, this is odd. I haven't handled coins since I was like 6. Like, this is odd, bizarre experience. Anyway, moving on.
No, nothing.
I'm 26 now. I'm turning old in the esports years.
That's old enough for the Boomerang League.
Yep, Boomerang League, you have to be 20.
Yeah.
No, the 20 is way too low. 20 is way too low. 25 is where Boomer starts. 25 is when Boomer starts in esports. 100%. It should be 25.
No, you guys did not
25
Fortnite, so 18.
25 should be Boomer.
18 is the Boomer because of Fortnite.
Dude, I mean, that's just no.
I was
too low. It's too low.
No, I felt like a giga Boomer in Fortnite.
Who was that guy in Fortnite his name was like Jesus something?
Oh,
do you remember?
This is so. I mean,
it was like at the World Cup, I think, like
very early on in comp. This has nothing to do with nothing.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Let's move on. Next topic, next segment, whatever you call it.
Jesus,
Vain Jesus, dude, that guy. Oh my god, I remember they ran like a feature piece on him in the World Cup, and he was just happy to be there, dude. Fortnite.
Wow.
How did you find that?
I mean, they're going to put VeggieTales in Fortnite next. It's going to be crazy stuff.
Yeah, I'm thinking of a little segue.
Okay, let's give you a second here.
We'll give you again.
Dude, my brain is so slow all the time.
It's fine. We can cut this out. Just keep thinking.
Speaking of,
dude, we can fix it in post.
Speaking of acts of God, FaZe Clan beat Cloud9.
There we go. Hey, that was worth the wait.
Thinking about a segue, that was good.
That was worth the wait. That was worth the wait.
Definitely worth the wait.
Yep, FaZe Clan getting playing a lot of the neon cringe, and they get the upset against Cloud9.
They were cringing.
Yeah.
They were cringe. They were good though. I mean, Kurt, just play round 10s and round 14 of Actually, you know what? Play round. You're talking to Kurt
like he's Jarvis in the film Iron Man.
Why not? Yeah, why not? Why not? That's what he's
playing round 10 and 14.
You've never. The people don't see Kurt, but he's like plugged in via USB and SATA cables to the desktop, and he's like an android, and that's how he's so quick with everything. You've never seen him do it.
Where did he post these clips?
Where did you put them?
Where did you put them?
They're in the Valorant clips channel.
What rounds, Connor? I found
round 10 and round 14, Jarvis. Please.
At the same time?
No, just into session. Into session, and that'll sum up how I feel about the series. First of all, this arcade aggression, off the knife and the stun.
This was crazy.
I mean, this was fucking McNasty. And they did stuff like this like all the time. I really like when I watched this, it was just FaZe aggression once again, baby and demon, and just great calls from Poise. Like they had great set plays throughout the entire series. Their set plays were nice. Like it just felt like C9 could not deal with the aggression.
They've added more layers compared to last time they were playing it, which was was one of the criticisms I had for it, because they were running this comp without as many ideas behind it. But this time around, they were always applying the pressure, which is dope to see. Because when you run a comp like this, it gives you so many options to run those aggressive takes, especially on maps like Fracture. So I was really happy to see that they improved.
Yeah. It fits their style too. I mean, they play it slightly different than they copied the Optic comp, but they play it differently. It's really nice to see, because just pushing the tempo with Baby Bay. I mean, that guy is nasty. And Dicey continues to be consistent, man. He is so consistent.
He's really. I mean, we literally have a clip for it. Go to Jarvis. Go to round 6. go to round 6. I mean, but I think we also hinged a lot. Just keep pretty much going from there.
Pull up like Michael memes.
Just pull up baby.
No, maybe don't do that. Don't pull up Michael memes. But like, I think that was a good point, Ball, because we talked earlier about FaZe and we didn't know how well they were going to keep going forward. Because I think it was it Josh or someone else saying how like this team can only go forward as long as Baby Bay is popping off. And the reality is, I don't think they're super reliant. Like Baby Bay obviously is a huge portion of their aggression and their frags and they have these set plays, but Dicey carries a lot of weight in this team. Dicey does a lot for this team.
Yeah, they're a dynamic duo for sure. Just in terms of in terms of the numbers they put up, but I love it because it just showcases a bit of an evolution, I think, in the way that they're playing and thinking about a game. And like you said, Poise is IGLing as well. It's like almost getting into, I always talk about it, but like that rise form where in LCQ they were looking in prime form in terms of the calls and the ideas that they had. But yeah, it's all coming together, and it's like the next level is being reached by FaZe when it was previously looking like they were just going to stagnate. So as soon as they got out of the open qualifiers, where they were relying so hard on Baby Bay and Dicey to just put up really big numbers, but no, they found an extra bit of depth to it, I think, and it's just adopting a lot of the Neon, playing these super heavy execute comps that really worked out for them. I was a little bit pissed off watching them on Haven though. I remember watching them on Haven and thinking, holy moly, like early on Haven. I mean, I feel. Do you have clips?
Yeah, we have clips
on Haven.
I mean, I didn't get as much. I didn't get as much of the like Papige. I mostly focused on like the FaZe clips that I thought were good. But I felt like a lot of the reason that Haven went so well for FaZe a lot of times is that C9 just could not hold C-Site for their life.
Yeah, they really struggled with what they wanted to do on it.
They walked in repeatedly over and over again. And this was just, I mean, this was fucking crazy. This is just Baby being a madman. Like, this is just crazy. Like, that was just, but I also really like Flya as an addition to this team because I think his flashes and his synergy with Baby Bay on the Neon here in Haven in particular, but also throughout the series, it was really good. He was a great initiative player.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he was doing a good job of setting up Baby Bay. They were a nice duo on Haven, especially. There were a lot of nice little. I mean, I think this is exactly it. Little flash and slide setup, like just doing stuff like this consistently. That was putting Baby Bay in position to get impact kills was really nice. And this is the kind of coordination that I felt was missing in the past 2 weeks, but was there in the open qualifier, and which was really frustrating in the past couple of weeks to watch in the game against LG, the game against Optic, where they felt a lot more I suppose I don't even necessarily want to say individually based. It was just that they just they weren't going for those plays that I saw in the open qualifier, which they are again now. That could be because they were having whatever roster turmoil was occurring, where they were swapping Poach and Flya in and out, whatever was going on there. But they've ironed that out. It's paid off. They were excellent in this series. Also, I think Poised's individual gameplay in this series was significantly better than in the previous 2 games. I kept noticing moments, especially against Luminosity when he was on KO, where he was just taking these really passive lines of play, and it was really hurting them in those moments. And in this game, on both maps, that never occurred. He was always swinging when he needed to. He was always playing making an aggressive move when he needed to, and that made a huge difference as well. So if he can keep that up, and they can continue to have these nice setups that enable the Baby Bay aggression, then I think that they can still make it. I mean, I'm glad we're seeing this now. I was disappointed that we didn't see it in the first 2 weeks, but it's here now. They can still do it, but they have to, keep their foot on the gas for the rest of this group stage.
There definitely are still holes in their game plan, though. In general, it's me. Sped up.
People talk.
Yep, people talk. What's the TikTok song that they play over this?
I don't know. I'm a boom. I'm a boomer.
The
Brennon
Better Call Saul theme. Can we get DMCA'd, please?
We can if we want to.
There were definite holes though in the game plan when they started to slow down their gameplay. You started to see it like creep in. I think in terms of just being able to play off of one another. Definitely the strength being the fast executes, like not giving the opponents time to react at all. I mean, we didn't even really touch on Cloud9 as well though, but they're still kind of getting to grips, I think, with these role swaps and changes. I mean, we knew when the change happened that this is going to be a weaker Cloud9, but it's starting to get to the point where it's a little bit dangerous because we're getting into the really important section of the group stage. Yeah.
I mean, they're sitting at 1 and 2 right now.
Yeah.
And they have to beat LG and what's the last team? Is it Sen?
I mean, is it
Okay, so I
Dude,
mean, this is
nothing to lose, Sentinels.
yeah. Against the White Claw Sentinels. So you know, we'll see what happens. That's a potent Sen. That is a potent Sentinels. Yeah, they. I mean, I suppose this LG game is. I mean, the LG one is the crucial matchup. They have to win this weekend. It is worrying for Cloud9. This has to be the weakest Cloud9 performance since the vanity Cloud9 began, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this was a really rough showing. I also it was definitely not Leaf's day, though. I don't even know if it's. I think part of it is. I mean, he was having a rough day individually, but I'm not sold on the Chamber Leaf at the moment. I think I feel like we might have a case of the Saya player as well with Leaf to some extent. That's
I saw this
concern.
I saw it more so when teams change their roles around and they have to think a little bit. There's that extra half second of hesitation where they're thinking about their actions because they're on roles that are uncertain, they're not comfortable in their roles. That was the biggest, I think, issue for them. Is just little hesitation in their plays or not syncing up utility properly to play retakes. They have an idea that they want to disrupt a plant going down, but they just do it all out of order, and all of their utility is just wasted instead of compounding the strings of it. Little issues like that always crop up when teams change up their roles, and they're just thinking that they're not. It's not instinctual anymore. They're actually thinking about how to play their roles, and so I would pin it down more so to that because we have seen Leaf pop off in the past, but. I mean, who knows? Maybe
it's interesting too. You could think about the FaZe stuff that they're doing right now, the hyper aggression. In some cases, countering when teams are just still in the nascent stages of whatever comp or strats that they're trying to bring up.
It really punishes on coordination when you play these wholesale executes. It punishes it so hard. I mean, we found out when we were scrimming. Dude, we were getting rolled playing a team who they had so much whimsy.
Oh, the neon.
I don't want to compare our gameplay to tier 1 Valorant, but I'm going to.
I would.
I'm going to. When we played against the Neon comp,
they were better than Sentinels in the group stage.
They were knifing us in our spawn. It was just, it was demoralizing. Anyway, moving on.
Good thing I wasn't playing that one. So it's okay.
You weren't playing that one, no. It's poor Psycho. Psycho keeps playing with us, and every time he plays with us, we get rolled. In the scrims. Every single time.
It's map 3 after we've dominated the first 2.
Yeah, we have a great time with the first 2. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about the NA match predictions. We're already kind of there anyway with the way we were discussing this every time we keep bringing up the groups. Let's start with last week's prediction scores. Pull it up. Oh, this is going to be interesting.
Oh, boy.
This is the Yep.
Honestly, Balla kind of dominating.
Balla's going crazy.
Minor setback for a major comeback.
Holy.
Is what I'm saying.
Major comeback.
Yeah. Minor setback for a major comeback.
Wyatt.
NA has turned me to a 2-dimensional human the past 2 weeks. is what has simply occurred here.
That's unlucky.
Minor setback.
If you get
setback.
2 Preds right, you'll be on par with a coin flip.
Yep.
So that's.
I would have.
That's a motivational speech for you.
Yep.
You're almost as good as random chance.
I'll take
random chance. Yeah,
I'll take it.
It's that is unlikely. I mean, there's a lot of upsets. Anyway, let's go to what's the next bit? We've done the overall scores. Oh, the viewers, you guys at home. Whoa, Timmy! You predicted
Timmy.
That's my fault. That's my fault.
Not looking good.
It's not looking.
It's okay.
Good.
We did too.
Yeah,
I think
all of us didn't do well.
We came out fast and strong with the soft hitting predictions last week, and we're just wrong on all accounts. we came out with the most standard Preds, and they were just all wrong.
How many? All 4 of us voted for one thing that were wrong. I think we were 4 for 6,
4 or 5. I mean, but just mental shit occurring. God damn it, G2.
Mimi's whole Twitter feed was just Plat chat prediction deaths. It was just her putting
I mean, it is genius though. Kurt for coming up with that. Actually genius.
Generating unbelievable.
We're harvesting unbelievable impressions. Unreal engagement. Guys, let's get everything wrong.
All right. So let's jump into it. Predictions. And remember, everybody, if we all predict the same team, we have to look into the camera and smile. I love that strategy from Mimi last week. That was amazing.
Genius.
Okay. NA match predictions. Start with the first one. Guard versus XSET. Babadoo. Oh!
Ooh, the triple guard. Myself,
guard.
Balla, and Connor for the guard.
I'm the only one who's went XSET.
Yep.
Yeah.
Defend yourself.
Let me speak my piece. I just couldn't listen. I'm not gonna doubt BCJ, man. I can't do it. His family members are like atting me on Twitter and shit.
Yeah.
Like I can't do it anymore.
You're just getting bullied.
I can't doubt him.
You're just getting bullied.
I can't doubt him anymore. I feel too bad.
BCJ's family is pressuring you.
Yeah, they're pressuring me like, listen.
And this is why we don't have public-facing voting.
Better not doubt him again. I'm like,
Oh my god.
okay.
Jesus.
Nah, in all seriousness, XSET's the kind of team where I feel like they kind of the 100 Thieves match. 100 Thieves came into it with great ideas in terms of the map pool.
There's a bug. Go on.
What? Okay. Anyway.
Okay.
Go on, Bren.
Sure. Great ideas with the 100 Thieves came into it with a really great idea of how to play the map pool and also just their comps in general and the ideas. But XSET, I'm expecting to be able to bounce back after this one. Listen, who was it who asked Psycho during our scrims, like, without leaking anything, how are the scrims going? And Psycho went, it's been interesting, which I don't take as a good sign. I don't take as a good sign at all. But I'll stick with the XSET, Pred. I mean, I'll stick with it. I have faith in them. They'll be able to bounce back. I think coming up against the guard, it's definitely going to be a tough matchup. But the one downside to the guard playing their old roles is that they actually haven't changed a lot of their setups compared to the last time they were playing these roles. They were going for the similar executes on Haven, I noticed. The same kind of like smoke dash into like side play plays in the smoke, the same flash executes. They have very similar tendencies, which means there's a ton of VOD footage on it. And XSET are the kind of team that love to do their homework. So I'm anticipating this to be a bit of a better matchup for them, assuming that they come into it doing their homework, which they do. They're kind of like the Nurge team, you know? Maybe that's why Connor finds them boring. Connor's the typical varsity Chad.
Yeah, that's the issue. That's definitely the issue, is that I hate
an unconscious desire to push and shove XSET in a locker, don't you?
I hate intellectuals and book learning is my biggest. That's my biggest feature, actually. If I ever make a dating profile, I have that on there. I hate books and learning. That'd be it.
Here's my thing. I think in this matchup, you have two teams. Neither of them are going too crazy with, like trying to dive into the new meta or the new agents. They're playing kind of your standard blue collar comps. Your workers, man, fucking Valorant, right? Just some honest Valorant is being played by both of these teams. But the individual form of the guard, I think, coming off of getting their first win, Saya looking excellent on the Jett again, and Zekken playing a lot of the Jett, where I think Saya should, in all likelihood, be the better Jett in that matchup. I think that that'll be one of the main factors that kind of pushes the guard over the edge in this game. I feel like after winning their first game and getting back into the old form and getting some of the confidence back, I think they're just going to start to get into the rhythm too. I mean, I think that's just a huge factor.
Yeah, I think I completely agree. I mean, I think it's very reasonable that you guys have all gone guard. Especially after
if XSET win, you get free clap. How about that?
I love
you post a screenshot and be like, I knew.
Except
BCJ's family members won't bully you.
Do not have much clout. That's the only issue.
That's the problem. You can't farm them for clout.
Yeah, that's the only problem. They don't have much clout. I can't siphon it. In fact, they are siphoning clout from me with this. That's the way it works. It's not symbiotic in the slightest. Kurt, I'm sorry. I'm really confused at the message that you tried to pass over about the match of the week.
Don't worry about it.
Okay,
don't worry about it.
Dude, sorry, I'm news to this.
Don't worry about it. You're doing great.
Sorry,
you're doing great, honey.
Let's do the next prediction. TSM versus Ghost Gaming. I'm the only one who I mean, listen. I'm going for upsets today, apparently. Listen, this is another situation where I'm expecting TSM to bounce back a little bit. Ghost Gaming, though, have looked nasty. I'm the only one who's gone TSM. Everyone else has gone Ghost Gaming. Is there something wrong with me?
Are you betting against a small restaurant owner? A small business owner?
Unfortunately, I am. I just think
the most un-American thing I've ever heard.
Both times you've gone against our prediction, and then you've like slightly like defended it, and then you're like, actually, but here's why they're probably not going to happen.
Because I don't know why I've gone for these. I must have done these. When did I send these predictions over?
I will say, Bren, you're always very prompt. Whenever I ask you, you do it immediately.
Yeah,
so
I'm an
I may have
impulsive
messaged
person.
you like right before going to bed.
It's the ADHD. I just want to get it done immediately. As soon as I see it, I just see it and I'm like, oh, I'm just going for it. And I fill it in. I don't put any thought into the bread.
Straight off feeling.
That seems like a bad strategy, but you're doing okay.
Doing better than me.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing better than me, and I'm conscious when I'm
just going off of pure.
Oh, we forgot to talk about NRG Ghost. And if you watch that series, you would know that Ghost is going to fucking win this game.
We did forget to talk about NRG Ghost.
Oh yeah, you know we did, didn't we?
Dude, was that me? Did I not put that in our show?
It's okay.
No, it's fine.
Bren.
It's good. We're good.
Okay.
We can move on to.
Look, we can talk about them now.
We can talk about them. Yeah, we can talk about them now. All right, and Ghost destroyed NRG.
They did.
Is it because they had light armor? Is that the only reason, or is it something
That
else?
could be.
Or is it something? I can't believe we're not going to dedicate 30 minutes to getting really into the details of the light armor mathematics.
How much Josh was talking about
If Josh was here, be forewarned, this would be the worst episode of Plat, Jett, VALORANT ever recorded because we'd be dedicating 50 minutes to the fucking mathematics and graphs and charts behind
He's
running
locked
light
outside
armor.
the house right now.
I mean,
But the thing is that like it inspired so much other nerds discussion too. I saw like Anders was like, I need about 4 hours to dive into the light armor discussion. It's like 4 hours. Like it's like we need to like we're gonna open up all the graphing tools and stuff. Like this is very good that Josh was locked outside the house for this one. The light armor discussion would have been.
Is that why people were just constantly peppering? What do you think about the light armor? I'm like, bro, I don't give a fuck. Like, about light armor, they made it worse for them. I don't know.
It's too nerds for me. It's too nerds for me. I am really high. I am really high on Ghost now, though.
Yep.
I am big on Ghost. My perspective shift massively when they on that Haven map last week against the Guard. That just opened my eyes to a totally different side of this team. And I think since then they've displayed what I saw in that game pretty consistently, which is they're one of the teams moving the meta forward, integrating the new agents extremely well. The team play is great. They play off of each other reactively very nicely. They have good util setups that they have pre-thought out, but also in the moment they have such effective utility usage. You know, given like what players they have alive, what situation they find themselves in. Anytime they're on a retake, it feels like they're just going to set up the perfect util to play off. And then also the fragging. I mean, Nismo is just he's one of the best players right now in NA.
The peak is so nice.
Those swings are just so good. He's just one of the best players in NA right now. On defense, Proto's anchoring has just been so solid, especially on Haven when he's playing on C. He just gives you so many rounds where he's good for like 2 or 3 multi-kills. Yeah. They're just, I'm really blown away by Ghost in the past 2 weeks. I really am.
They do look good.
Brock is also clutch as fuck.
But
that guy is so clutch. Yeah, Brock is clutch as fuck when he plays. He's really good.
They're just an awesome team right now. Really love watching Ghost.
Because here's the thing. They've taken a look at the half armor strat. They're going to adopt it, and TSM are going to run fade, and the decay is going to ruin them.
They're going to adopt the strap.
Yep, they
Ghosts are going to take the strap.
Ghosts just beat NRG. They're going to say, "Ooh, the half armor. Oh, there's some intelligence behind it."
Wow, dude, it's like when Walter White kills people and he picks up their mannerisms.
Their mannerisms.
Yeah.
Go spoilers.
Like that.
No. You can't talk about the spoilers, man.
Don't talk about Breaking Bad. The show's just come out. Next Brad, let's go. NRG versus 100 Thieves. Damn, we're all going 100 Thieves. You know, I had to do it to 100 Thieves.
Here we go. The screenshot. Perfect.
Nice. Good.
Great.
Perfect.
Good work, everybody. We did the screenshot.
Great image. Yeah.
We did the
That looks like something that'd be
screenshot.
on like a roller coaster, and you'd go at the end of it and pay $20 to get the photo. After you just finished.
Yeah. I mean, we all go 100 Thieves. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you kind of just have to at the moment, right? 100 Thieves have given you 2 excellent performances. I was going to say stellar on accident. I didn't even want to, so I avoided doing that because I would have just.
Well, then you said it anyways.
Kick me off the fucking show if I would have said that. But so I did. But they've had 2 excellent performances. One against TSM, and NRG just have looked kind of flat the past 2 weeks.
Playing some weird stuff as well, like the Euro comp they were playing. Was,
the Euro was just
the Euro was
awkward.
very odd. Yeah.
I mean, that comp that they were trying to run the Ghost comp on Haven against Ghost, but they swapped out the Raze for the Euro, but then you just lose the punch of the synergy with the Astra and like the tether from the from the fade. So, I mean, here we go. People run. I mean, it's just
so funny watching him run.
This was ridiculous. Look at this. Like,
and then he's fucking gone. Where is he?
It was just not as effective as they had hoped. And yeah, just NRG looking kind of flat. I think individually they're just looking right now.
Yeah.
Like during the qualifier in week 1, I think Tex was playing pretty solid, and the past 2 matches he's been more quiet. They're really committed to him on Chamber, and
they need to have him lead more, man. When he was fucking opping and just like attack opping dry, like he was just owning the crap out of Ghost, but they just never had that work. You play round 6 from Breeze, Kurt. Is that's just the round that to me just lost all my faith in NRG. They literally look like I'm calling a strat for Plat chat and plus Vansili, and it's like super in depth. We're ready to go. They're like, oh wait for the knife. They back up, and then fucking this one just comes.
Yeah, this one's fucking brutal.
Like that's not something that should happen. They should be. That really should not happen. To be not ready for a push and not ready for the knife. Like they're on the. I don't know, man. I felt like when I watched this team earlier on, I had a little bit of faith, but now I'm just losing it week after week, unfortunately.
Well, we're all expecting 100 Thieves to win, so that means NRG are going to win this week.
Yep.
Moving on to the next match.
The Ethan revenge narrative, please.
Oh yeah, no. Let's move on.
No.
The next matchup is EG versus Optic.
Ooh.
Evil Geniuses versus Optic. We've all gone for Optic with this one.
I thought someone was going to punt.
Yeah.
And it was almost me.
I was almost about to do it too. I was really, really close.
Tempted to punt.
You can feel it. The trouble is with Optic, I feel like they're quite a difficult team to prep for, despite the fact that they've been playing a ton of like comps and only the Neon like on certain maps, but they also just experiment sometimes. Like they'll throw in a new comp on what map was it? Was it Ascent?
Yeah, Yoru on Ascent.
The Yoru on Ascent and stuff. Like you don't really know what they're going to throw at you, and I feel like that is a bit of a downside for EG, because if there was one thing that was going to carry them through in this series, it would be being able to prep and counter strat against what Optic are running. But that's a hard thing to do, because like Chet must just have a folder, just a binder, a laminated binder filled with just cringe. He's got Facebook memes from 2006 and compositions, and it's just packed. Page to page, man's
cringe
cooking
after cringe.
Man's cooking. Yeah. Tells them what to play, they play it. So, yeah.
I was so tempted to punt on EG because their form was just the bananas against LG, and I think that there's definitely a world where Icebox gets played because Optic don't mind playing it typically, even though they lost by a lot to Cloud9. It was very one-sided. And that might be a map where they need to fix some things up. And then, okay, maybe EG get that one through. That's their pick. Yep. They're always good on it. Like, they take that one, and then they only have to win one of the other two, and they're in great form. It feels like it's reasonable. And then, you get into, like, Optic have already qualified. Maybe they let their foot off the gas a little bit. Maybe they just come in. But, like, at the end of the day, they're Optic. They pop off.
They seem super driven.
They seem so motivated to not just have a one-off Reykjavik success story. Yeah. They look like they want to repeat it. And
they don't want to be Sentinels V2.
Yeah. My NA representative.
Yep.
So,
North America on
top, do you want to smile on the camera?
Yeah, we need to smile in the camera again. Everybody? Okay, good.
Okay, great. Perfect.
That's the picture. All right. And, anybody else got anything to say on this one?
No, I was, like I said, I was on Wyatt's side. It was like EG's form looked so good where I was like right on the edge, but it just feels like Optic they're got the Chet cringe folder. They're well drilled. Like maybe they sneak in an icebox in there, but I don't know. I feel confident about Optic still.
This is for me, like the most interesting match of the week, just because I don't know who's coming second in these qualifiers. And this is the first, like the only time we're gonna see like how far is second from first, or is it much closer than we think? Like, could this actually be reversed? This is the first time we get to see that, because Optic's opponents have not been amazing.
Utterly insane standings that we've got. Anyway, next matchup is Sentinels versus FaZe. I forgot how to read for a second. I was reading off to the side, and we've all gone FaZe. Okay, no Sentinels hopium here. No. I mean, this everybody smile. This screenshot's gonna do fucking numbers.
I don't know.
This one's gonna do. This one's gonna do numbers.
The thing is, it's not gonna do numbers because it's not gonna happen.
Okay.
That's the critical issue. That's the critical issue with this situation. It won't be doing numbers. I just think Sentinels are just checked out. They're just checked out. It's a wrap. And FaZe are looking. They had their best matchup last week. They can still qualify. They have. I mean, they're winning. They're going to win the game. And if they don't. If they don't win this game, I'm just fucking
this
done with
This is
FaZe.
gonna be the greatest screenshot ever.
That's gonna be incredible.
No, this isn't a screenshot. This is a clip now.
If FaZe lose, I think I can't talk about them anymore. Because after hyping them up for weeks, and then they just peaged out, and then they beat Cloud9, if they then lose to Sen, dude, I'm not talking about them anymore. I will have had enough. They have emotionally wrecked me, Bren. They've ruined me. They
How
will
many
also
teams have
my
made it to the
spirit.
The unfortunate reality of a Sentinels win is that just every form of social media surrounding competitive Valorant is unusable because the Sentinels fans will swarm it with, "This is it, back against the wall, baby. Exactly where Sentinels wants to be, back against the wall, baby. This is it. This is the comeback." Because they have to win this, and I feel like it's more likely that they win the Cloud9 match than they do the FaZe match. So, like, yeah, I mean, I agree. FaZe should be winning this. Never say anything bad about Sentinels again. Just lost the match. Am I addressing social security numbers? I mean, I hope that's a joke because that's kind of, I mean, that's monka, but I'm assuming it's a joke. Hopefully. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going.
Nothing wrong. There's nothing good about doxing.
No.
Nothing good about doxing, okay? We're going to put a quick PSA. Doxing is bad.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
That's
very bad.
Also, how many teams have made it to the Wyatt's Not Talked About list at this point? We had FPX.
FPX are off it. They're my favorite team again.
Yeah, FPX are back. So whatever. But they made it onto there at one point. They made it onto there at one point.
DRX was almost there.
DRX was almost on the no-talk list. FPX were for a while, but dude, I'm back to loving FPX. They're my favorite team. Nope, Fnatic are never on it.
Never been on it.
And so now FaZe is on the precipice. If they lose this,
it's all on this match.
They go.
Yeah, it's dependent on this.
But Raucus has to play for a chance to win.
Yes.
Okay.
Raucus is playing. I'm scared. Yeah, the Raucus
There's so many
revenge
side bets on this. This is like there's so many derivatives. There's enough derivatives that it was like the 2008 like housing bubble here. We got like side bets like everywhere, all the fucking conditions.
Okay. Final pred of North America. Cloud9 versus Luminosity. And we've all gone for Cloud9.
All went for Cloud9. All of us.
Intriguing.
I guess I mean, this is definitely
gone LG.
A smile for the camera.
Yeah,
I
this is a smile for the camera.
But
what can I frown for the camera?
Yeah.
Yep. Perfect.
I actually definitely after I sent this in, literally I sent this in, and I woke up this morning. I sent Kurt the Preds because I fell asleep early, and then I was coming to work today, and then I was like, I should have predded LG. But it was too late because I know Kurt already has the asset made. If I ever ask for the turnaround now,
ask him to switch it. It's like that is doable.
No.
Is it?
No,
I don't know. I thought the asset's already made.
No.
But
we're running it again.
Wait, do you want to have LG, Connor?
Yes.
Oh, you want LG?
Yeah, he wants to swap to LG.
Okay.
I mean, I can respect
but
that.
they already took the screenshot. Actually, now it's kind of
yeah.
We have, yeah.
No, I'll allow it.
Well, it's going to be misinformation on the internet.
Well, that's the thing. It's all fucked up. Like, he swapped me. He swapped me. I'm swapped.
Okay,
the people will know that it's misinformation.
Can we all look to Connor and take a new screenshot?
Oh, wait.
Just frown at Connor. There you go. That's the new screenshot.
Oh my god. I was surprised to see 4 of us going for Cloud9. I think surprised to see 3 of us go for Cloud9, though I imagine we're all on a similar wavelength.
I have faith in the bounce back. I have faith
to be bad.
Yeah.
They just can't.
It just can be, right? Cloud9, surely they don't go 1-3 in their groups, right, guys?
Right.
Surely they don't, right?
Clueless? Troll despair.
Surely, like it's exactly the point that I was talking about when Cloud9 in their loss. The things that I was noticing is just the little moments of hesitation, the new roles, a bit of uncomfortability where it causes issues when somebody makes a call, a game plan. Oh, guys, let's fight this before they can even get a plan down. Let's try and actively stop them. Blah blah blah, whatever it might be. And it was just a little bit out of sync, and it causes all these recurring issues like the domino effect. It just collapses one after the other. And I'm just saying words at this point, but I think that
have they won with Curry yet?
No. They won one map.
Yeah,
they got a map off Optic, but they've only played 2 matches to be fair.
Yeah, and hopefully the extra week is enough time for them to actually work stuff out. Hopefully,
yeah. I would hope. I feel like it's what's awkward about this matchup is that we just saw the two worst performances from these two teams maybe all year, where they just both got blown out by what is perceived an upset. Definitely FaZe against Cloud9, and still I think an upset for EG to beat LG, but not as crazy on paper as the FaZe one, I think. So that makes it a bit awkward. I would just, my thought is just that surely Clueless, surely that is like the bottom performance for Cloud9, and it's only up from there, right?
This is the real lower bracket performance, not the Sentinels.
Oh, this is the real one.
This is the real one.
Yeah, this is what really matters. I believe in the LG grind set is the thing.
Okay.
I think C9 is still going to be looking a little weak, and they're going to come up against like a team that, I doubt they're ever going to win a championship. They're going to go to a Masters and win probably. Who knows? Maybe they might. In this case, that this will come back to haunt me or not haunt me. But C9, they're looking weak. They're looking rickety, and they come up against the steadily improving it's like that one character in like shows and movies where like he's been grinding for years, and like he's just too good for you right now. C9, he's just too good. Maybe in a bit, once you've solidified your roles, everything's looking good. You're probably going to beat them next time around, but not this time. Not this time. Your weak deer baby legs are just going to collapse underneath you. And that's and LG looking too strong. Yeah. I'm a Mata believer. I'm a B-Dog believer.
Valid.
I think this guy's pound. So
I mean, I think it's extremely I mean, listen, I think it's really realistic that LG win, but I believe in Cloud9 in the bounce back from that performance. I think LG are going to bounce back from that EG showing too. I think they'll be better. I think both teams should be better.
I can see
but
this
if both
match.
teams are better, Cloud9 should be able to win.
I can see this being a map 3 scrappy game. Like a scrappy game. I can just see it going really scrappy and back and forth.
Yeah, I could see it being messy.
Maybe. Okay, well that's going to do it for the Preds. And I think, do we decide the match? Were we supposed to do the match of the week ahead of time?
Well, I think I have this set up for it, but
what?
It's fine.
What is the match? What do you guys?
I would say EG.
We get to decide, right?
Yeah, you guys can decide, I guess.
I think it might be Cloud9 LG, because that match, is it not that? Ball is shaking his head.
No.
I would say
it could be that or EG
Optic.
But
it could be
Optic doesn't even really. The Cloud9 LG is going to determine a lot more.
Sure, but also you forget that first seed gets a bye in the first round, so like it's actually not important.
Super important, yeah.
Okay. Listen,
I think
I'm
for the
open-minded.
clout, I'm willing to do EG Optic just because. I guess both teams are equally clouded. I guess C9 is quite clouded too.
Surely you want a match that's going to be difficult to predict for the viewers. We really want to tax
because
their
we want to be
brains.
better than the viewers.
Yeah, we want to tax their brains
exactly.
here.
Okay.
And to give them a hard one.
I think C9 LG would probably be the harder one to predict.
The guard
do
XSET?
you know what's a great one to do? The TSM match. Because the TSM fans outweigh reasonable thought.
No.
We need to get into the demographics and the analytics of this. I don't know which way our voters are swinging.
I would say we do LG C9.
Wait, could it be an EU game?
No.
Come on.
Because two people would vote. So
yeah.
we need to do CNA.
I'm happy with Cloud9 LG. Were you happy with that?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Sure, I don't care. Yeah. You know I don't care, Bren.
We'll do that as the match of the week.
Doesn't matter what you think.
Yeah, it really
Jarvis is in control.
Timmy, you get to vote on it. I mean, the poll will be up on the YouTube page at some point. You can find that one and you can vote on it. And make sure you tell your friends. Now, it's time for a short little break. But before the break, I need to tell you about something very special. Because we've completely squandered our opportunity for a space chair sponsorship worth millions, because we couldn't drop the funny gag of shit-talking Connor's chair. We need your members to pay our guests. We need money to pay our guests. Please, if you want to become a member, it helps us out a lot because we get to pay our guests. So yeah, that's the gist of it. I mean, we're gonna keep talking about it because the episode is live right now. We're recording. We're not even recording. We're literally live. We're just broadcasting it out. The airwaves going out, just sending it repeatedly over and over and over again. And make sure you like the video as well because that helps with engagements. Because YouTube is trying to keep us down. because of the algorithm or something. I don't really know how the algorithm works. We don't know yet if it's working like that. But apparently live shows that it's not pushing the video to people. Just how many viewers do we have, Kurt?
What are you saying?
I don't know. How many viewers do we have?
We have 1.7K viewers.
How many likes?
I don't have the thing open. Let me look.
There better be 1,700 likes.
Yeah, we have 340 likes.
Disgusting.
Ugh.
Disgusting. Everybody like it right now.
I'm leaving.
Everybody like it right now.
Balla's quitting the
Blackjack.
show. He didn't get enough likes, and now you've made Balla quit.
Everybody like it right now. No, seriously though, the live show is not getting. We're going to a break. Bye. Oh, I can still talk. Okay, well.
Okay.
I actually do need a break, so I'm gonna
Here's the
go
reason
3 minutes.
Wait, Hannah Kissinger, is that related to Henry Kissinger?
What are you talking about? All right. So anyway, what I was trying to forward to Bren is that last week, for some reason on our Overwatch show, and of course on this show as well, we went live. We did our show live. It's basically the same as before. And I looked at the analytics, and our impressions were about half, and our viewers were like way less, especially for Valorant. And it looks like our show just was not recommended to like anyone. So if you like the video, please like the video. We're trying to get back into the algorithm with these live streams because it's a lot more fun doing it live, but YouTube hates us. We want YouTube to love us again.
Yeah.
So thank you for updating the stream.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you all. Thanks for the members as well. You guys are so kind.
Yeah, if you become a member, we do have an alert for that as well. It should pop up. I don't know why it's not. If it's not.
It takes a bit, I think.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Yeah, I have to use the restroom. I'm gonna put on some sweet music real quick.
Wait a second.
Yes.
Look who just became a member. You guys see that?
Asuna!
Asuna!
Welcome to member, Asuna.
Asuna! Welcome to member. Welcome back. I got my
Dude,
water in my
Austin is a
hand.
member?
Yep.
That means you
Yeah.
have to become a member.
Yep.
Little Timmy.
True.
Yep.
True.
Should
You
have
have
done
to think
that in
about the
the
fact
break.
that Asuna has no disposable income as a 100 Thieves player, so really it's a lot that he did that for us. It's a lot.
What?
I guess so.
Okay, it's time for the most exciting section of the episode.
Yeah.
The EMEA
It actually
section.
might, to be fair. 'cause we're gonna roast.
I decided to take the games that were soul-sucking. Just the worst games to clip and watch
think
and cover.
They were all soul sucking this
A
week.
lot of them
I'm gonna
were.
be
There
honest.
there was some moments that you could glean though that were exciting.
No,
that you
not
could
all
watch.
of them were all
Not all of them were soul-sucking.
What
There was
wasn't
some
soul sucking this week?
Fnatic, but we're not
Mech
talking about
DBL.
Fnatic.
Yeah, Fnatic and
Fnatic
yeah,
was
Fnatic was a
cool.
soul sucker. Come on.
No, that shit was sick. What do you mean?
Fnatic-
I mean, it was
We'll
well,
mention how good
well,
Fnatic were.
hold on. We'll get to it.
Yeah, we will get to it. We're not there yet. The
We'll get
first,
to it. Everybody
the
relax.
very first topic
Let's discuss.
is M3C. Our M3C back to old form. That's what I have highlighted here. And it's also me who's gathered the clips for this. And the answer is, I mean, I got to refresh my memory. I got to pull up the stuff that I pulled.
The answer is, I don't know.
Damn. No, okay. The answer is moments of brilliance from M3C playing against BBL. I was expecting a little bit more out of BBL just in general, I think, because they have talent, but they've just keep showing the same recurring problems, which is like they're great fundamentally in terms of their aim, their ability to play off one another, but they just don't have much depth in terms of like ideas that they throw into rounds and whatnot. But M3C, on the other hand, they're just playing pretty standard stuff. Let's start with just the very first clip of the M3C stuff. Round 4, Kurt, that I pulled is on Fracture. And it's just a great example, I think, of the defensive setup by M3C, what they're thinking about with the way that they're playing the game. And this is just cool. I mean, I don't get to really see much Cypher much because I'm so knee-deep in North America that there's so much chamber being played. But they have this cool trap play where they can just see into halls, a little setup that gets off as well. They have the trip setup just in case they try and play close, but a classic Nats moment where he's able to just play. And he had a bunch of different chambers, Cypher setups all across where he was constantly alternating it as well and playing off of it. And yeah, it was awesome to see. I think just kind of like glimpses and flashes of that old mech form throughout all of it. And BBL just not really coming up with many of the answers for it. I think overall, a great showcase from them. But the entire map is... It was me that asked the question with the topic, M3C back to old form? And the answer is, weren't really tested that much in this one. And they still showcased some issues where they were just kind of overheating. So, I don't know. Did anybody else watch this game and have any thoughts off the back of it? Yeah, Balla?
Yeah, I thought that this game was at least the Fracture game came down to just clutches from M3C and BBL just kind of throwing a little bit, because I think they actually did have a lot of good
cool
reads on this match specifically. I mean, I didn't see as much impact as Kushner last time, but also Mech came out with so many different things and setups. Yeah, just off the back of that, where you're talking about the different things and setups, can we rewind this clip, Kurt, of where did you see this, where they brim smoked door, a double satchel in with the shorty? This is in round 15. They did it twice actually as well, but they just disrespect it, and Devo just plays inside their own brim smoke at door and uses the boombot to clear the rest of halls. So like just almost an answer to like a Jett dashing in their own smoke, but their own version of it, except it costs $400 and a smoke in terms of utility. But they take the space, and it was cool to see them just throw out these little things as well, like taking the sand control, the wall up over it as well to just put pressure on the site. And this is what I mean by the glimpses of M3C, where they're pulling out these really cool things, and it's well drilled and well thought out, and you get to see that raw clutching going through. But I didn't mean to derail your point that you were going No. It's good, because I think that I saw a lot of, I forgot who it was on Fracture and EMEA, who's doing the same smoke and just like not having any value out of it at all. You just see Gambit have the knowledge more than anything else. Bren, you want to talk?
I do, because they have moments of brilliance, and then Chronicle just literally loses nerve endings in his feet. I mean, he literally just walks repeatedly into the molly. Like, look at this. He's like, whoa, what's going on? Oh, I'm dead. And he's just dead. He actually just dies of cringe in the kill feed, dies to the molly. So it's a little bit funny. It's not the old mech, not by any stretch of the imagination. We're not seeing the old form, but they are... I see glimpses of it, and I see hope, and I'm left wondering, okay, I mean, I think they are still favorited to make playoffs. It's a little bit weird with the EMEA group system, because only 3 teams make it out of each group into the playoff system. But I think they would still be favorites, given all of this. But there are those little moments that are just like, that's not... I
don't want to have this entire argument again, but I feel like that is consistently what we saw from Mech anyway. It's just little moments that you're just like scratching your head always. Like maybe not during their Berlin win, but at Champions, there's plenty of them. And the original weeks as well through stage 1, there was plenty of them.
Yeah. You guys want to see a funny round? Round 14, Kurt.
I like laughing.
Metal Gear Solid-esque gameplay. Absolute Metal Gear Solid-esque gameplay. Round 14. Did I link it to you? I think I did. Yeah, this one. The contact from BBL on their eco. And Nats has this defensive setup when they're on the attack side, where he has the double trips on bridge so they can't be flanked. And they jump over it, and they're contacting all the way. They're like, and look, they try to cook. They're like, guys, let's go up to arcade. And then, oh, wait, there's a trip. And Kushner's like, guys, over the ropes, quiet, follow me. And the entire time, Mech's like, ooh, and then, they see them, they're picking, they're like, oh, wait, guys, this could be great. We can catch a timing. And Kushner just only sees red, just fires before anyone's ready. His whole team's on the ropes. He's like, oh, I need the kill, and just fires, and the entire flank goes wrong.
I got mine.
That is
so
such
funny.
a BBL moment, because when stuff goes wrong, they do those contact plays all the time.
That is very funny. I'm glad you showed me that round. That was one I did not get to watch this game, but I'm glad I saw that round at the very least.
And honestly, Breeze, I gathered some clips, but it just wasn't. I don't think there was much of value to be gleaned from it, because it was just standard gameplay by Mech, and they were just supporting Defo with a flash, like the Sky. They were always attached to the hip with the Sky in terms of being able to support them, and BBL just losing when it comes to just their coordination. Like, they try to go for Halls A splits, but they were out of sync all the time. They would when the going gets rough, they were going for contact plays again, and it was just red this time by Mech. They were catching them out a lot of the times. It wasn't very interesting. It was a complete blowout on Breeze, and it just reaffirmed that, Mech are they can still skill diff teams even when the teams are really good at aiming.
Am I just a simp or what? Because this was a masterclass for me
from Mech.
It was so good just to watch.
I didn't think it was boring to me watching, because I didn't feel like they were pushed. They were doing everything right. They were like, Defo was always being supported. He was never really left alone. Always utility to make sure that he was good. They had great ideas in terms of the setups, but there was also moments like, dude, round 4 cut, round 4 Breeze. Any dart breakers, just the standard stuff that made me watch it. I'm like, yeah, it was a sick round from Mech, but also like,
they had 3 people there.
Yeah,
so they're fighting. Like, how are they going to break the dart on this round? I knew the round you're talking about before. They go out B and they have Redgar here, who's not normally playing here.
Any dart breakers? I'm gonna watch in silence as I sip my Red Bull. Oh, did you get for the choke point? Oh, trade it out. Oh, there's a dart. Oh, we're all and you're all dead. That's it. I don't know. I didn't. My takeaway from this was that when I watch a team that doesn't really get pushed that much, like Mech, I question whether or not I was watching like a masterpiece, or just will the cracks start to show when they play against some real top competition and get pressured and pushed, which they weren't in this match. So this was cool though. This like horse split that they ended up pulling out. I think this was. What was this? Round 18. Yeah, this is like, they have a cool dart that just cleared the back of yellow and also top bridge, and Defo pushes off the back of it, gets a pick, sets them up nicely for the horse split. They coordinated nicely. It's like it all comes together. They know that they're lurking as well at this point. So I mean, caught with a knife.
I see this round and other rounds as well, and I just see more added on top of what was already an amazing Breeze from Mech that we didn't get to see much last season, after like a couple of games where they just shit on anybody else in the EMEA. It just looks really good. And I think they got pushed on Fracture. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, maybe BBL is not as good on Breeze, but also this is a team that I expected to be not close to Mech at the same time as well. So I don't know.
Yeah. My takeaway was that I need to see them get pushed a little bit harder, I think. In their upcoming matches.
I don't even know. Are you gonna? I mean, I don't think you're gonna see that for a few weeks.
From Big and Team Liquid. I mean, I think they should still be pretty solidly locking in playoffs, given their upcoming matches, and it'll be playoffs when we really see them go up against some top competition. Like, I would be really curious to see them go up against a team like Fnatic or FPX. For example.
Those are the real matches that I'm looking forward to. I mean, I don't want to say too much, because I guess my opinion was just based on the previous 2 weeks, but I feel good about M3C, but I feel great about Fnatic and FPX looking at EU at the moment. But I don't feel that great about the other teams, so I don't think there's a lot of competition for M3C in regards to like being pushed out of
playoffs.
Third. I just not seeing it from the other teams. But.
Okay, let's talk about Fnatic then, because that was the interesting element for me from EMEA this week, honestly, because it was outside of that, there wasn't really that much, but they looked very good. And my question is this the best looking Fnatic yet? Wyatt, you were the one who was, you were in the lab.
I mean, this Fnatic team has been awesome.
Yeah, they've been
since they've debuted, and they just flatten Ascend, and I mean, Ascend, I don't know, I don't want to spend this Fnatic segment just harping on how just Ascend look right now, because Fnatic are doing awesome things in these games. I was blown away on Ascent by the gameplay from Enzo and Boaster more than anyone.
Yeah.
Their setup utility for the rest of their teammates is so good. Also, I think this map just really highlighted a difference in how much further Fnatic are in regards to playing a meta comp than Ascend were. I mean, I've sent you a bunch of clips of just Fade value over and over and over, but the Fade had so much impact for Fnatic. It was consistently outright winning them rounds. I think this is the first round Fnatic win, I believe. They actually mess up this nade, so the attacking lockdown still comes through, but then a haunt comes in over top from Enzo and Spawn, and he finds 2 picks with this haunt up on the close top right, really high up roof there. And it was just moments like this over and over, whether it be a crucial haunt or a big ult from Enzo, that was just the difference maker in these rounds. Fade is just so strong on Ascent right now. And I think part of why it's really strong is that teams aren't good at dealing with it yet because it's quite new. And I think that the teams that are putting the effort in to take advantage of Fade are really reaping the rewards right now. The Fade was just so impactful on this map. And then also Boaster's supportive Omen was so good. He plays so many effective smokes for his teammates throughout this game that they were playing off. His paranoias were always well-timed to assist a teammate, to alleviate the pressure. Like if, you know, one of the players was defending on B, he would send in a well-timed paranoia to assist them. It was just such excellent supportive play from those two that it made the jobs of their duelists just so easy. And there was one play towards the end on Ascend that I'd really like to show that was so cool. There's so many fucking messages in this channel. God help me if I can find it.
While you find it,
it's the one that just says insane Boaster alt. I mean, this was just such a cool heads up play. They're just Fnatic are just thinking about the utility in the game right now in a different way from other people. Boaster gets tagged by the drone. Alfier's opping, comes heaven. Boaster TPs in front of them, and Alfier swings off the TP in front of them to find the pick. And now the spike is down in main. He gets one through the smoke, just spamming the op where the spike is. And now you're into this 3-on-2 scenario. And when you're in this situation, the Fade just ends up sealing the deal on this round yet again, capped off with more Fade utility being mega impactful. Monster just doesn't even know that a showstopper is coming and is about to just ruin him. Like, the Fade was so good. They're just thinking about utility on a different level, on a different fucking planet from Ascend when you're watching this game. And Durka finishes that game like 20-6 or something, and it didn't even feel like that was even really a factor.
The defining factor.
Like, he had like a couple rounds where he just holds the angle and finds a bunch of picks with the op, but like him getting 23-7 is just an afterthought to how well they're playing as a team. It's just, they are just so good right now. And on the other side of the coin, I think Ascend are they're behind the meta. They're playing extremely individualistic, and they're not even really in great individual form, I don't think, at the moment. Throughout that game, like, I don't know, you had a couple glimmers from Starzo where he would hit some crazy flick and it would get, but like it never even ended up mattering. I mean, Ascend are just, they really, I don't even know where to begin with them at this point. I think they have so much to catch up on.
Yeah, they definitely feel quite stagnant to me.
That it's, quite worrying. But I mean, Fnatic, another week of just unbelievable gameplay. I mean, they're just so good right now. And to cap it all off, something I said last week, but like, I think right now in the meta, if you have a chamber and a raise that pop the fuck off, it's huge in the meta right now. They have that, but it's even just an afterthought, and it's almost secondary. I feel to how well the support system is on the team for setting these guys up.
Dude, look at Avier's stats, man. This guy's 16 years of age. I mean, he is absolutely dominant. He is dominant. making plays all over the bloody place. And I'm glad that Boaster as well has had a bit of a redemption off the back of Reykjavik, because the circumstances that Fnatic played him were not good. They weren't kind to them. And Boaster had some of the worst performance he's ever had, honestly, in his pro playing career. Coming off the back of, honestly, the way they qualified, I thought he was playing some of the best Valorant he's ever played when he was playing the Initiator for them. And now he's moved back into the controller role. And what you mentioned earlier, I mean, he is definitely playing so well in terms of just the way he uses his utility, the way they think about it all. But the entirety of Fnatic is across the board. And I do think this is currently the best looking Fnatic that we've seen yet. And they keep making improvements. This is a scary looking Fnatic, I think, right now, where they are setting the meta in terms, I think, the trends of where we might be going in terms of fade usage and how people think about it.
I mean, this is just this is on Icebox. They start down against Ascend. CNED was finding a lot of opening picks, just walking in as Reyna and finding a kill. But then slowly Fnatic got back into this game and then just ran away with it. This was just a really cool setup where they were shifting the utility between their two Sentinels. I mean, if you want to call Chamber a Sentinel, man's a duelist with a little fucking alarm bot. But and in this round, they had used the pit on B, which you don't really see often, and then Alfie replaced an alarm bot outside of the range of the pit in case they were wrapping around it, so Boaster gets the info off that. Just bringing, unique setups into the mix as well. They just have so much depth at the moment.
Yeah.
I think the Fnatic as well, that what's really interesting for this team is how, comparatively to a lot of the teams in Europe, but most notably Ascend, and we've seen in A too, like how well they're integrating new agents into this team. And it's something that we've harped about a lot, where when you think about the longevity of squads and how well you want them to do as we get further and further into Valorant, you cannot play like Project M Valorant forever, where it's just like default vanilla, like, the stuff that's been there from release. Like, you have to learn how to integrate new things as you go on. And I think that's what's really interesting to me is the Fnatic squad, is that they are really, really good at integrating in Fade so far and trying to like think about utility differently. And that's what you need from a team that's going to have longevity, is thinking about utility differently and agents differently as they're released.
On that point, it's so good to see how well Enzo and Althea have been integrated into the team, because there's such a... Althea provides the firepower that you might have lost with the changes, kind of like Brave, I think, with him being gone, even though I think the ceiling is higher now that Enzo's in, because just he's able to play so much more, I feel like, in terms of the roles. But also, you look at timeouts, if you look at the cams, Enzo is always contributing to timeouts, like in terms of what's going on, because he's got former IGLing experience, I believe, right? He's got that experience on him, which I think is also probably part of the reason why Boast has been having some really good performances individually. Probably takes the weight off his shoulders in terms of what he has to do in a match. I mean, I don't know that for certain, but I do know for a fact that it's probably less responsibility for him, and he can focus on his own game a little bit more, and you're going to get the best out of everyone on the team when you have that kind of dynamic and system. So this Fnatic, they got legs. They keep making improvements. They look dangerous. They look dangerous. And I'm excited for the playoffs to eventually kick off, because that's when we're going to start to see them really contend and clash with those Group B teams. Let's talk very briefly about this one. This is an FPX topic. And listen, no disrespect to FPX. Are they a top team? Are they a top 3 team in the EMEA? Here's the question I want to pose to everybody. Because coming through this one, obviously, another game where they didn't... I said they didn't get tested. They did have a close map, but they played up against Focus. And when I was watching this one, I was pulling clips for it, and the close map was Breeze as far as maps goes, and it was deceptively close. And if you look at the timeline, the reason being because Focus ended up winning the pistol rounds a lot of time. And also when we got into the second half, when Focus won the pistol round, I'm pretty sure FPX ended up forcing in round 14, which I've got a clip for, Kurt. It's like Force Chaos or something, round 14. It really did not set them up on a great trajectory when it comes to the economy, but it looks like it was a close map score. Don't get me wrong. Focus had some great rounds in terms of just them hitting their shots, but it was definitely a little bit scrappy at times from FPX. Like the decision to force and Focus just hard reading this hole split and playing aggressively into it with flashes. I've seen teams do this more and more and more, and it's the reason you see these defensive Cypher setups where they put a cage deep in at the top of halls, because they know that the hole split's coming, and they put up the cage to try and disrupt it. But teams are getting really good at disrupting these A hole splits now, because they've realized just the strength of it, given how easily you can take yellow control. And yeah, this did not set them on the right track in terms of winning this. I mean, they were even in the round essentially. I mean, it was 6-7, and they decided to force it up. Don't really get the thought process, but it did backfire a little bit. Ended up making the entire map much closer than it needed to be. Did anybody else watch this one?
Then they got the. I saw how close it was, and then I saw Fracture, and I didn't watch Fracture. So I watched Breeze, and I didn't watch Fracture because I saw it was at 13-1. So I was like, okay, that's enough.
Fracture was a flattening.
Yeah. Their Fracture is just awesome right now. The comp they're running is very cool. Their setups are very cool. Their Fracture is just so fucking clean right now.
The Omen is the most interesting thing that they're running right now because no other team is really running it at all, I think. I was trying to look at the statistics of Omen play. No one's running it in NA on Fracture. It doesn't really vibe, I guess, with the way that people like to play it inherently. Yeah. And I didn't, honestly, they flattened them so hard, I didn't really get to see what was cool about the Omen. They had a one-way that they were doing in A Hall's control, but the observers were never really looking at it. So I didn't get to see it that much. But I mean, this was cool. Angel with a collateral.
Angel's just opping.
Yeah, just opping.
I mean, it's just, this was just a turbo flattening. But their Fracture defensive setup is really cool. It is pretty awesome. They've definitely cracked a unique approach to the map that has been very successful so far.
And so that map is why I posed the question of, like, are they a top 3 team in EMEA, despite the fact that they, it's a bit scrappy on the Breeze map against Focus. I think them showcasing how well they're fleshed out in terms of their map pool does put them up in the higher tier when it comes to the EMEA teams. And yeah, they definitely look dangerous on it. And we didn't see the full playbook because, again, it was like a 13-1. They got absolutely destroyed. Don't really have much more to add on it other than that.
Yeah. I really think, on the question on the topic, I think they're number 2 right now. I mean, does any disagreeers?
I don't even know who you could even potentially approach to be else in the top 3, right?
Yeah.
Mech?
Yeah, I think Mech, right? But it's, I don't know. Mech have also shown a bit of some crazy moments, but so have FPX. Fnatic look just larger than charge at the moment at number 1, but it's I definitely it should be FPX somewhere in the top 3, which is I mean, dude, imagine telling that to us, huh? 2021, early 2021, late 2020.
I would have been like, I knew it. I knew FPX would still be amazing in a year and a half.
No.
I knew it. The greatest team.
No, you didn't. Nope, you would ban them. You would ban them from all discussion, so that's not true.
Well, it depends. If that was no, because pre-ban, I love them. Pre-ban, they were my life source.
Well,
watching FPX VODs in the late night, sipping wine in my robe, that was my life source. That's how I spent COVID in LA. Just
cooking up the comps.
in a robe, drinking rosé, watching FPX, 1 a.m. God, I love this team.
I remember in that house, there was a point in time we were watching Australian Valorant.
We were
at like 3 a.m.
COVID hit hard.
Yeah, that was
COVID hit hard.
Dude, what were we doing?
Australian Valorant at 3 a.m.
Anyway, next topic. Let's move it along in the EMEA section of things because there was some big stuff that happened, and that was G2 getting upset by OG London LDN-UTD, the craziest team name ever. I mean, we just got OGLU here, but G2 did get upset. I was going to watch this game on stream, and collectively, 300 people screamed, "Don't do it." And you agree with that point, Balla?
That was so
That would be
bad.
right.
It was so bad. There were so many. I mean, just watch round 1, and it kind of sets the pace for the series.
Yeah,
the first fight in this game sets the tone for the series. Actually, the first engagement really sets the tone.
You could put like the soundtrack of like it's like the bells and
this moment right here. Watch.
Sounds.
They're gonna go for the execute, and then dash into the smoke, and just watch what happens.
Yeah, it's rough. There's definitely
no one's pushing.
They got mollied off.
They got
mollied off by Mixwell.
Okay,
and then Hype just ran up tree and everyone was watching.
But even this follow up is exactly how this, because Hype was on the maps that OG London United won. I don't want to say OGLU. That sounds awful. It was Hype. Hype was just so good at shutting down whatever, and also being aggressive in decipher position. There's a lot of good, I'd say, for me from OG London United's side on their game plan, but I just don't think individually they're there, and I think that's why number 1 they get stomped on map 2 on Breeze. But like things like this, like for example, they're just walking out. They do a little bit of executing, like with the smokes, like one flash out, I think, and then they walk all the way up here to Paranoia and take the site. Like these things were completely countering what G2 was doing, which is they were playing the setup with Nuki in backside with a fade haunt that they're waiting for any noise, and then they would haunt over top and try to get the wall spam. And it's just like doesn't have that much layers. And what they did was perfect against it because they were just pushing the backside late with a lot of utility.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think on the maps that they won, they just had a better game plan. I think especially on Ascent. Pipe was the Cypher was getting a lot of value. He was hitting a lot of great timings off of his lurks, and then I think Destrian's fade was significantly more impactful than Nookie's on that map. I think they had a better approach with that as well. When they were on defense, they were making good proactive plays with it that were paying off, like pushing into Cat, and it was. I thought OGLU. This was, I think, OGLU's best performance. And then when it gets to Breeze in it, I think it's just a bit more individually based. G2 were able to shine a little bit more, but G2 were not really hitting that hard individually in this game either.
Well, they changed all their fucking roles again to weird ass shit.
Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense. Well, okay, maybe it does make sense like internally or whatever, but they're playing Mixwell and the Initiator now. They're taking him off of Chamber. They're putting Nookie when they want to run Chamber onto Chamber, and they're putting Hoodie into the duelist role. Very guard-esque in the sense that like the guy who played really well at Reykjavik is now put into the duelist roles.
Yeah, I just think it's so awkward because I mean this is the role that Hoodie he used to play Jett, and then he switched to Initiator, and I think he slowly over time became really good on it actually. And in the latter year of G2, like leading up to Reykjavik. He was looking really solid on the team as the Initiator, and I was finally kind of like really satisfied with him in that position. And I think Chamber's existence is just perfect for Mixwell because he was just never the aggressive, fragging Jett that other Jetts were when the meta was very Jett dominated. But he was okay on Sentinel, and he can AWP. Chamber's kind of perfect for him, and I think when you have Mixwell on Chamber, you are extracting the maximum frag juice out of him. You're squeezing all of the juice out of the lemon when you have him on Chamber. It's like the most fragging you can get from him while also having him be on the Chamber. And I think Hoodie's performances on the Initiator were good. And I think it just kind of messed up the flow of things. I think on Fracture as well, like Nookie's Neon against FPX was good. They had good plays on that map. They kept it pretty close against FPX on a map where FPX look really, really dominant right now. I don't think those things needed to be shifted. Again, it's one of those situations where it's like, I guess I get the idea kind of where, like, look, Nookie's going to pop off hard. If we get him on the Chamber, he's going to, kind of light the server on fire. But I mean, it's just, I think you've messed with the flow too much where now you've made Mixwell really uncomfortable and you're just hoping that Hoodie can make up for that. But you've just created a fragging vacuum that needs to be sealed. So
they have a difficult path now as well with this loss. They're 1 and 2 in their groups, and they're up against Ascend and Fnatic next.
Yep.
Like they need I think they need to at least win one to have a chance, and then I don't know if it's even in their hands at that point because again there's so much uncertainty regarding the group still, with 2 weeks of matches left to be played.
If they beat Ascend, then it's like a weird situation.
Yeah.
But obviously, if they win both, it's probably okay. I mean, I just don't see them beating Fnatic.
I can't see any team in this group beating Fnatic right now. No. I mean, the only team that could have was FPX.
And that was literally the week 1 match, so it's not even like we saw peak Fnatic or peak FPX in that match.
When was the last time G2 didn't make a playoffs in EMEA?
I don't know if that's ever happened.
Is it? Yeah, I'm trying to recall.
Of course it has. They didn't make Reykjavik playoffs. Like
well, I mean, like not thinking global events, just thinking like EMEA.
No, I know. I'm saying because that's Reykjavik playoffs that's the qualifier. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But either way you slice it, I mean this was just a must-win game that they lost. And And I suppose, yeah, I mean, I get
it's like a freebie, you know. It should have been a freebie.
Should have been a free one,
but
right?
yeah, I know. Which is, I wonder, I don't know. Yeah, I guess of all the weeks to decide to make radical composition,
Changes
or not
to your
composition, like
team.
agent and role swaps, is it just, oh, it's OGLU, we'll beat them and try this out?
That's such a weird mentality to
Is
have.
it, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
though?
I don't think
know.
it
I mean,
is
I
that,
don't
but-
know, but
I don't think
No,
it is
I
that.
think they got.
That's-
I think they got flattened by FPX and hit the panic button. I think that's.
probably more likely. Yeah.
Well,
And it's not the first time we've seen reactive, like
Reactive decisions from
reactionary
G2.
stuff.
No,
Yeah.
no, they would never.
Plus meta and certainties as well.
Where's
Like when you
Kellogg's?
combine getting flattened plus the meta changing, like it's just, and new agents, it's a recipe for G2 to fucking hit every panic button, seal the doors, the blast doors go down, red lights are blaring. Carlos is walking into the facility being like, what changes should we make?
Where
Mix well on
is
Jett.
Kellogg's? Where is he?
where
Find
is
him.
Kellogg's? Okay,
Stuck in the VRL.
moving on
Bring him
here.
back.
The two top teams in Group B.
One more thing, Bren. On that match, I know this is so fucking uninteresting to you guys, but OGLU and Focus now will be put into like a must-win to not get relegated.
Oh, yeah, of course, because the VRL
fucking
system where they
Right.
have relegation built in.
Right.
Huh. I do like that. I mean, it adds additional stakes to the match.
Yeah.
Well, you'll see. Well, listen,
And it
if you
probably
like,
won't matter anyways because of franchising next year.
True. Also
Yeah.
accurate.
well,
I think. Listen, I'm not going to claim to know how the VRL system works because
yeah,
I don't.
mean, they haven't.
I just
have they?
don't.
They haven't ruled out franchising and like an actual like promotion relegation, have they? I don't think they've ruled it out.
They haven't ruled out like anything yet, but I mean, isn't the VRL system don't they already have sort of VRLS systems for like LEC in Europe?
But I don't
Every
think
it's the
region
same
has
level
their
of-
own
But they
VRL.
don't have relegation.
Yeah, they don't have
promotion,
relegation.
as far as I know.
Yeah,
Because it's like buy-ins. But if you
They
don't
have
do a
EU
buy-in, you
Masters.
theoretically could do relegation in a franchise system.
but they still have like a very active, like even if there is none of that, like they're very active like tier 2 regional scenes still. Like no, I don't know if there's relegation and promotion
Yeah.
necessarily, but
Okay, let's shift the conversation then. Top two teams in Group B faced off against each other. It was a map 3, supposed to be a gigabanger. Supposed to be.
Who said that?
I don't. Who said that?
Liquid.
Who said that?
Which analyst said
Which
that?
This
games
is
analyst said
Guild.
that?
It was supposed to be a gigabanger. What we got
Was it supposed to be a gigabanger?
What we got was
mean,
that's-
three
that's-
one-sided maps.
Listen, I don't know if this was supposed to be a gigabanger. I think it was. I don't know. Going into this, I'm
It's
like,
only a gigabanger because of the standings. That's literally
Yes.
the only reason.
Yeah, 'cause-
And
yeah.
everybody was looking at this and being like, I don't feel good about Liquid. I don't feel good about Guild.
yeah,
But
that's
here-
exactly. That's what I'm going into it. I don't feel good about either of these teams. And going away from it, I feel worse about both these teams. How about that? How about that for a shift? I mean, fucking hell, man. Kurt, can you pull up a round titled "Liquid"? Please, can you pull that one up? I mean, that's a good way to just. That's a good way to just intro this. I mean,
Liquid, please.
they start off on Split, which they've been playing a lot with this double controller Omen comp. They have Soulcast playing Astra on various maps at the moment. They have Yampi playing Omen here on Split. They're down 7-0. Guild have just been walking up to sites, executing. Liquid have just no stopping power, no ability. They can't anchor these sites. I mean, this is one where they'd gotten it. Screaming, I think, had found an early pick. They're working up ropes. Navarro's jiggling it. He finds a pick, and then he just swings in and dies. Wow. And now Link is left on site alone, 4v3. He's trying to win this duel. Oh, Leo swings and kills him, and now we're in a 3-on-3. It's just crumbling. Just sad rounds like these in abundance on this first map, but also, yeah, this comp from Liquid. It's a theme throughout this series is that they just have no ability to stop the hard Guild hits. Guild on their attack on Fracture and Split, they went for so many fast, big executes that just never got stopped. And it just leaves me wanting, you know, a Sage perhaps, a Chamber on Fracture perhaps, where you can like hold tower, try and get a kill and then TP away and then go for the retake. But there's just not good they just don't have the ability to actually hold these sites with the comps that they're running, and the way the guild are playing just took full advantage of that with these big fast site execs. I mean, yeah, I mean, you could just pull up map 2 in a nutshell. That's a great one. I mean, here's another great one. It's just Icebox Liquid 1. I don't know how this was just. This map was so silly. It was just Yampy top fragged. He got so many kills with the Judge. He just kept buying it. Like, fuck it, dude. I'm getting kills with the Judge here, playing Omen on Icebox, looking like Ethan last year. Now Nivera pops his pit to counter the attacking Viper's pit. And he's just going to try and stick in this 2v3.
I remember watching this live.
I mean, it's just Guild were losing. Guild were losing tragic rounds here.
Wasn't there 3 full sticks in this game?
Yes, there were 3 full sticks. There were tons of rounds where Yampy was just getting kills with the Judge. This map was just silliness in abundance.
Did they not realize the pit was up? Like they counter pit when they drop it? It's so weird.
It is so strange. And yeah, Nivera just eats 2 shock darts and he just sticks it. And they just win another round. I mean, that map was just so silly.
That's it, man.
And then,
EMEA's finished.
You could just play any of the last 2.
EMEA's finished party. Get that trending on Twitter.
Next year, franchising, just do 16 North American teams. EMEA shouldn't get a franchise spot.
Give them 3 slots. But this... and I mean, it was kind of back to split on Fracture, though, where guilds start on attack, and they just go for big executes, and again, Fnatic just have no stopping power. With this comp with the Cypher and the Sky, they're like pushing out, trying to gain info dish, gain info arcade, but then guilds just do a big site hit, and they have nothing to stop them. There's no chamber to hold in an area like Tower and find a pick. They don't have a Sage to put slows or a wall down to hold an area of the map when these execs are coming in. They're just kind of gathering this... They're gathering info that's just not actually assisting them in the early rounds.
So many gamble stocks.
I'm not a fan of the comps that they were running, especially on Fracture. And... Guild just punished them for it by hard-hitting sites and winning every exec over and over and over.
Predictions are going to be interesting.
Dude, in man-down situations, what is it? Here, I have it written down. 15 out of 34 man-down or man-up situations. So 5v4s, 3v2s, all that shit. They fucking lost over half of those situations. It just makes no sense from Liquid. Was a
they
team
lost
that
over half of the situations where they were a player advantaged up.
Yeah, many. Like 5v4 is 10 out of 20.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I mean. Like, it's like I don't know, man. Just watching the Sky in Tower fighting for his life. Like, please God, just be a different agent. I don't know. It's
interesting.
It is
Man,
it is rough.
And again, no fucking no. 2 best oppers in world, no op agent.
Yeah. I don't want to live in a Sliggy-less world anymore. I don't want to live in it.
This severely helps the chances of Sliggy Sentinels.
Because Raucus is going to be playing. He's going to be playing.
Raucus is going to be playing. He's going to be playing,
so it's fine.
I mean, some positives for Guild, though. Look, their executes were well drilled. All the timings were nice. They played off Trex super well. Trex on Raze. Somehow every ult he has always gets 2 kills. He creates space really effectively, and the spacing between him and the follow-up player is always really good, even though he's often going for these double satchel plays like this. I mean, this is the kind of thing they were doing on Split constantly, just like early ramp take with Trex. They're swinging off him. They're finding the trades. They were playing off of him really well. I mean, Guild definitely, their attack sides, they looked clean on the 2 maps that they won. Icebox was just spaghetti everywhere, but there are definitely some positives for Guild. I'm just not sold on either of these teams. I mean, listen, I'm more sold on Guild now, but beating this state of Liquid has not convinced me of the Guild David Beckham greatness.
Sure.
It's just, they're they're looking like they're probably, I mean, I don't know, at least first or second best in the group, right? But I mean, they're going to probably end in first because they beat M3C week 1. But in actual like skill at the end of the group, whatever, they're 1, 2, something like that.
Okay. Let's do the match predictions, man.
Okay.
Let's get into it right away. EMEA match predictions time. Time of our first match. Ascend versus G2. What the fuck are people predicting?
I might have a wild one for this. I'm not sure. We'll see how everyone thinks.
Ascend versus G2.
Okay.
Split down the middle. Connor and Balla, you've gone with Ascend. Me and Wyatt, we've gone with G2 for this one here. I'll let you guys defend your picks.
I mean, I'll start first and saying I think G2 with the role swaps is cool. I have no confidence even with how flaccid Ascend have been looking. I just don't have a lot of confidence in that swaps. And I think I still believe that Ascend there is hope to go upwards, and there seems like yes, they're looking a little lost, but the thing is with G2, they were found and then they've made themselves lost. And that to me just implies less confidence when I look at that team. And that's honestly it's just a momentum confidence based thing.
See, I think
right now in the role swaps.
I think it's more likely the G2 switch back some of the roles and Ascend continue with a bit of it. I mean, I don't know. There's some stuff that I take issue with Ascend's comps that they run, like when CNED's playing the Reyna, and it just looks like I'm like, is the Reyna good or is CNED good? And it's usually CNED is good, more so than most situations. I mean, maybe I'm underselling the Reyna a little bit as well, but they also just look.
One map too.
They look, yeah, it's just one map, but Ascend just look a little bit, I think, disjointed. I mean, same with G2. Yeah. This was such a hard match to predict, man. I mean, it's so fitting that it's split down the middle.
The most important match, like
in terms of the group circumstances. Yeah, it's so important.
I think I agree with how Ascend looked disjointed in the first 2 matches, but they got stomped this week against Fnatic, and I was like, hold on a second, they don't look disjointed anymore. They're just getting shit on by Fnatic. So I think like if they continue to improve in that trajectory, that's copium. But you
have to copium either way for both these teams.
I mean, I know it's Fnatic, but holy shit, some of the rounds Ascend we're playing against them were just we're up against an eco and we're swinging 1 by 1, losing duels to classics and shit. I'm like, oh my god, man! I was just not happy with. I'm not happy with either of these teams. I am not happy with either of these teams. But the reason I've gone with G2 is that, first of all, hopium, they don't keep the role swaps. Okay, that's one piece of hopium. The second piece of hopium that I have, Ascend are just not playing the new agents. They're not playing anything interesting. They're playing fucking Reyna on Icebox where they keep going, and G2 are usually pretty good on Icebox.
Yes,
and
G2 are very good.
The comps that they're running on the other maps are just your bog standard comps. And I think if you play some of the maps like Ascent, if they're still running the comp that they were running against Fnatic, and if G2 maybe do a couple role swaps, but like keep the fade, because G2 are actually trying new things. They're trying to play new agents, and I think if their fade is better than it was last week,
copy what Fnatic
I think that they could potentially win a lot of rounds outright by having good fade play if they continue that, and if Ascend don't bring in any of that stuff and they keep being behind the meta. I'm praying on that and the role swap. And I don't think either team have individuals in form. So those are my
one day CNET is gonna be in form finally. Like, right? Like it has to.
Yeah,
it has to happen.
surely.
But also the G2 stuff, like last week they saw so much good fade, and then this week they're like, yeah, let's run fade, and they didn't do any of they did their own shit. They did their own shit that they made up, and it worked like no times out of every single round that they ran. It just didn't make any sense to me. If they're going to do it, they should have done it last time.
I have enough. But why didn't they copy last week? They will fix it.
They watched Fnatic twice. They watched FPX twice already. Like, how is it not copied already?
Okay.
I'm telling you, CNET, he's gonna be in form. He's not going to jail for bits scamming. Okay, he's everything.
They're gonna put Mixwell back on chamber, and he's gonna drop probably like 17 or 18 kills, a very reasonable amount, but it's going to be enough, okay?
Very reasonable, just a middle class amount of frags.
That's what's going to happen, and that's going to push them over the edge.
We're shifting it.
Okay.
Moving to the next match. OGLDN UTD versus FPX.
Okay, I mean,
so many letters. Whoa! Okay. No one's feeling the upset with OG London United. No one's feeling it after they beat G2.
Well, you didn't feel it last week either, huh?
No, we didn't. But FPX, I think, despite the fact that they did look shaky every now and then, I think they still look like they have a lot of cool ideas, a lot of depth, and they are not showing the same issues that a lot of the other teams are when it comes to just playing off each other and the uncomfortableness that you can just feel emanating. They should be taking it. What? How much clout do FPX have? Do we need to do the screenshot?
They don't have that much clout. Not enough clout.
How much?
Europe? Not enough.
How many followers do they have?
European clout is a mere trickle.
Is it
a mere trickle
at the bottom?
clout.
Okay, well, we still need to be nice to them. Let's give them a bit of our clout. Let's all smile.
Okay.
There we
We'll
go.
give them a little
Actually,
bit
I know the
clout.
CEO of OG.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Dude,
I met him once in Thailand. I'm not even kidding. I'm not even kidding.
Dude, you're so
Now, are you talking
industry.
about OG London or OG?
Just OG, but they're OG London United.
Right.
They're kind of like combined now.
This guy
I don't
is
know.
so
He used to be
It's a
like, I
merger.
think, the videographer of the EG Dota team. And then just, I
Now
don't know.
he's just the CEO. Of
Now he's the CEO
As
of
the
OG.
CEO of
corporate
all
ladder.
of London, he's united London under one banner. And
Yeah,
like
I don't really,
tail.
honestly, I don't know. But that's, I haven't gone for his team. So,
Yep.
moving on to the next one. Unless anybody wants to say their piece on this one. But no, I think we're all just in unanimous agreement.
Nope, not saying anything.
Focus versus Fnatic. Or Fnatic.
Wow, that's crazy.
I mean, if someone had put focus here, I'd be like, do you have a concussion? What's going on?
Yep. Yep. And I'm guessing Focus not have much clout.
No clout.
I mean,
No
is
clout.
Focus like, is that even an org that's existed before?
First of all, I mean,
Valorant?
no clout.
where are
And
they?
this is. I've never been so confident about a team winning a game in my life.
I'm putting
So-
my house on this one. What's Focus's Twitter?
You can't put your house on it. Ninja owns the house.
They have
They're
44,000
44,000.
Oh damn! Actually, hold up. Whoa.
We can
hold
get
up.
into the
Less
Germany
followers than
demographic.
Bren. Less followers
Germany
than
demographic.
Bren.
Let's give them a
Did
smile
they
just in
exist
case.
before Valorant, or is this an org that's just only a Valorant organization?
Are we
I don't know.
smiling?
They
Dude,
have
I don't know.
Fortniters and
They like
FIFAers.
FIFA. Let's give them a smile.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. All right.
They gave him a very half smile.
Uh-huh.
They didn't get a full smile. Not enough clout.
Next
Full
match.
smile.
Navi versus Team Liquid. And we're split down the middle, actually. Connor and Balla. You've gone with Team Liquid. Is there something in the water in Austin? Why are our predictions aligned?
Yeah.
Me and Wyatt in person.
I-
We're going to
Just
say the
hang out with
line.
Josh. I don't know. This is
Yeah.
some-
Oh, I need to center my camera. I'm
Yeah,
like all
listen,
over the place.
I'll seeing Balla go for Liquid is shaking my confidence in my prediction because Balla is always correct. But that being said, that watching Liquid versus Guild made me cry, so I'm gonna go with Navi.
I went with Navi just off the back of the game. We actually didn't talk about it, but watching a match, it was very close between Big, but yeah, man,
The Big have been stepping it up recently.
I
I'll tell you that.
have more faith in Navi. I think Navi have showcased as well throughout multiple times that I thought they looked better in stage one, to be honest, but at least, huh?
So I was gonna say, I'll be honest, Wyatt, you shouldn't put any stock in this prediction because I haven't watched Navi at all this season except for the MEC game.
Yeah, they don't look as good.
What
They
I'm
don't
hoping
look as
for
good.
is that Cloud is going to play a lot of Neon, and they're just going to run it down on Liquid, and they're going to win.
Are they?
Because they can't hold sites.
That's the one thing
That's
they
what
do well is those neon comps, right?
Preach.
Yeah, seriously.
That's what I'm hoping for. Play Neon,
Yeah.
run into the site, just people run in there really fast, and Liquid won't be able to stop you, and you'll win the game. That is what I'm praying for Navi in this game.
And it feels likely.
Does it feel
feels-
likely? I mean, it
yes.
feels possible.
Well, honestly,
Feels
I have seen so
possible.
much tomfoolery watching Navi versus Big, and also the EMEA games. There was something going on this week, man. There was something going on. It was just all over the place. And yeah, I don't have a lot of faith in a lot of these spreads, to be honest. But yeah, and do you guys want to talk about Liquid more?
No.
I think Scream they're gonna transfer the Reyna Stone from the Infinity Gauntlet to Scream, and he's gonna stop them. The Navi rushes. He's gonna play Reyna.
He's gonna stand his.
He's gonna play
stand
Reyna and
guard on the
stand his
site.
ground. He's just gonna be patrolling the buttresses of the various sites, and he's gonna gun them down as they go for the neon rush. So yeah, I simply, it's just this is just who it's silly Preds. I'm looking at silly Preds here. I believe Liquid a tiny bit more. If it had been Navi like a while back, I probably would have Predded Navi honestly, because I like their looks. But now I don't like their looks. So
okay, that's fair.
You know?
They're ugly now.
Well, next Pred, here we go. Big versus Mech M3C. And we've all gone M3C for this one. There
Next
you
one.
go.
Want some more German clout?
Yep.
No clout.
No,
M3C's not even an award.
Do you want to see where... Did I pull a funny round for Big? I think I might have, but it doesn't even matter.
This better be funny.
Was it funny? I need to check that it was funny.
Funny, dude.
I don't think I sent the clip.
This better be funny.
Oh
my god, we all went for Mech. This is surprising.
Yeah.
This is shocking.
This is shocking.
Oh, no, it wasn't even that funny. It was just the EU production spoiling the result of the first map.
Sad.
In round 22. Round 22, and it just says, big win! And it just goes to the studio like 2 rounds before the game finished.
That's kind of funny.
I found that funny.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's a first map in the big game, round 22. Kurt, just pull up round 22.
No, that's worth showing. It's pretty funny. It's pretty
I was
funny.
just doing the VOD review, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that happened." And I just listening to the casters. I think it was Mitch and Tom, maybe. And
it's always Mitch and Tom.
It's always Mitch and Tom. And I could just feel the pain in their voices. You can't find it. Doesn't matter.
It's okay.
It's all good.
Not enough clout.
Nah, it's okay. I should. Yeah, I didn't send over stuff for that because we ended up skipping it. But
one last game.
BBL versus Guild. We're all on Guild.
We all went Guild.
Not surprising, I think, really, to be honest, because, I mean, despite all the bad stuff we were talking about from the Guild match that just happened, they still should be able to beat BBL. I think BBL, they're playing cool comps, but they don't show the layers, and that's the annoying thing about them. They have the mechanical ability, they play the comps, but their default stuff that they go to when stuff goes wrong is often just contact plays. And they don't really utilize the utility of like the Neon that they like to play recently and everything else. They're not showing as much depth, unfortunately. Yep. So
it's like impulse stuff from Kushner or Aslan or something like that that makes them look amazing. And I didn't see any of that impulse stuff this week.
There is a lot of clout with BBL, so we should give them a little smile, just a cheeky one, a little wink.
They're going to put that up on the billboards of Istanbul.
Yep. There is a lot of clout there. Okay. Yep. And that's going to do it for the match predictions of the show for EMEA. And we've got in right in time for the most important award segment of all time, of all history. I hear that it's taken over. Time Magazine, no longer a thing. Wyatt's Weekly Award, taken over. It's taken over.
Dude, where's my res? Oh, hey. Didn't see you there. Wyatt's Weekly Award.
Nice headphones.
You know, I'm going to do it.
Before you get into this, I just want to say you should give it to yourself.
I should give it to myself?
Yeah, you got Immortal.
I'm not giving it to myself.
You should give it to yourself.
No, I'm going to be humble.
Okay.
No. I'm not going to be self-indulgent here.
I don't even know you got Immortal. Hold up.
You should give yourself a spec. Like you should say I was considering giving it to myself.
That's sick.
No, I didn't even
That's actually my respect has risen for Wyatt after that one, not posting the self-indulgent tweet.
Yeah.
You're so Spartan-esque with that.
Listen, I'm going to give it to, they said I wouldn't do this 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row, they said I wouldn't do this. Everyone was saying, holy shit, he would never do this.
There's no way.
I was seeing so many replies and messages. They were saying he won't do it.
There's no way.
And I'm going to do it.
Do it. No,
2 weeks in a row.
There's no way.
It's going to someone from Europe.
No way.
Oh, my goodness.
Dude. Why? You said to me in the kitchen you hated Europe.
Two-time winner. Two-time winner.
Two-time winner?
I'm going to give it to Boaster.
Boaster?
Second time. I'm going to give it to him for a second time. The first time I gave it to him for being very fit and working out. Remember when he was bouncing on that ball?
Yeah, I remember that.
The workout on the ball video.
For the first time I gave it to him for really remaining physically healthy during the off season. I respect that a lot. But this time I'm going to give it to him for the gameplay. This time I'm going to give it to him for what's happening in the server.
Respect.
Not out of the server. Because Fnatic,
you've heard it all now.
Just look heckin' awesome. They just look so damn good right now. And a lot of the reason I'm also giving the award is because I was just kind of blown away by the Omen play on Ascent. I was blown away by how good the supportive gameplay was from him in that series this week, and just for what Fnatic have been doing over the past several weeks now with this team in general. What they've been able to construct has been pretty awesome. So
Looks
for that,
good.
2-time winner.
And also, how does he look so good when he's just woken up?
Did he
Thoughts?
just? I don't
Yeah,
know.
on the picture. He said, like, I just woke up. Here's the merch. I don't know. We just pulled up the tweet. I mean, this guy is radiating.
Maybe it was a little bit of movie magic. Maybe he put on a little foundation before.
He's glowing.
skincare routine.
He is
Maybe he's
absolutely
capping.
glowing.
Great
Could he be
skincare.
capping?
It could be capping. Could be capping.
Yeah, could be. I mean, you guys have seen what
Falter's never lied though.
Josh. By the way, little behind the scenes. Well, every time Josh comes on the show, he's just woken up 5 minutes before. So you've seen what Josh looks like a lot of the time when he's just woken up. A husk of a human, an absolute husk of a human, a dried prune. Sometimes he always waddles into here, sits down. He's like, I just woke up 5 minutes before. Just woke up.
What?
Just woke
You're
up
doing
5
it
minutes
so
before.
dirty right now.
Oh, I haven't drank any water. Every time without fail. And then in the break, he just goes into that room. He pisses like a horse, where Avast had the famous moment where he pissed on the coat. Look at him.
Wow.
God bless him. God
You can
bless
actually,
him.
now that you mention it, you can really
You
see
could tell
it.
that he hasn't drank water in
He
24
does
hours.
look dry.
I mean, that's just
looks
Did
dry.
he just pee? Did he just piss literally live on that show?
we're so fucked up,
Yeah.
Mr. Josh, man.
There he is.
We're fucking up.
He's not even here to
Oh
defend
my
himself.
god.
You can make him talk at like 2 times speed again.
Yeah, put him on to
This is guys, I'm gonna check because now that we're doing this live, I wonder if there was any breaking news.
There actually was.
Really?
Yeah, the Johnny Depp case got settled, but I'm not going
No,
to talk about
I
it.
don't want to talk about it. I don't want to
I'm
talk
not going
about
to
it.
talk about it. Yeah, I actually
I
have
hate that-
zero
I hate that-
Why did you
interest
mention that?
whatsoever in it,
no.
but it just popped up on my phone. Breaking news! I'm like, I don't care. BBC News app.
Hate it.
I
Wow,
literally
Twitter
could
is
not care.
popping off. Holy crap.
Yeah, it's
Hate it.
done.
We
I
were
don't
just
understand
chatting
people's
through-
understanding.
Anyway, that's not important.
Wait.
No, it's not. Wait.
I'm so glad we do this live now because this is not like ruining the.
Yeah, it is. It is actually live. So we. let's check it.
I'm not seeing any.
Any
So,
news?
pull up
I'm
the
not
Josh
seeing
people
any
talk of
breaking
him.
news.
It's him trying to explain why he doesn't drink water for days at a time. Why
Yes.
he cosplays as a succulent.
No breaking news.
Okay, whatever. We're ending the show. This is
This is
boring
so
for the
silly.
phone
Yeah.
watchers are just absolutely snoozing.
No, they're not.
Please like the video.
Okay.
Please like the video and comment. Get the engagements going as well, because genuinely, the YouTube algorithm is kind of just flattening.
Dude,
They've we are laid out on the kitchen counter. They're flattening us with a meat mallet right now. They're just absolutely flattening us.
If I see less than 1,500 likes, I'm gonna cry.
Yep. And if you're watching on Twitch as well, make sure you subscribe to our channel and watch on the YouTube as well if you do want to support us. And if you were a member, if you became a member, welcome to the member. And thank you for supporting us as well. We really do appreciate it. And we will see you next time. Thank you again. Bye-bye. Bye. Oh, dude, look at that.
Oh, wow.
Look at the,
Oh, dude,
look at the jealousy.
Dude, if
Jealousy.
YouTube plans
Look
us
at the
again,
jealousy
we're
on that
gonna
one.
move to Vimeo.
Whoa.
Calling it. We're moving to Vimeo after that.
Don't we play the outro?